Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the PUBG Mobile South Asia Pro Scrims 2021 Season 1, brought to you by R3G Gaming. My name is Warren Super Johnny John, ladies and gentlemen, and joining me, it is going to be Necro. We're going to be your host and casters for the South Asia Pro Scrims.
Certainly, yeah, and I'm really thrilled to be here. Overall, we have seen so many new talents rise up from the PMCO this time, and now this is going to be the real test for them. How are they going to be performing against the top dogs?
See, that is the question that we are trying to find the answers to, and that is the opportunity that's going to be given to the teams of South Asia. And when we say South Asia, we mean 3 regions are going to be competing together. We have teams from Bangladesh, Pakistan, and teams from Nepal. And it's going to be a gauntlet that's going to be run, a sort of a gauntlet that's going to be run between these three regions. So let's explain, let's take our audience through the format before we get the day started, Necro. So we have 24 teams with us right now. There's going to be 6 days when these 24 teams that have been divided into 3 groups are going to be playing in sort of a round robin every single day, and then we have 2 days of finals at the end. But with that, with the matches that we have explained, there's a lot on the line, and with that we mean the prize money, ladies and gentlemen. So let's have a look at the prize pool.
Yep, certainly taking a look at the prize pool. Of course, first place is getting that 1,000, and then of course it's going to be descending down. But now overall, we have seen so many, like just some dominating performance coming in from Carnage from the Nepal region. Then we have seen Blood Legion from the Bangladesh, and then we have seen F4 from the Pakistan region. Overall, all these teams are just completely dominating in their region when it comes to like the PMCO, and of course the invited teams are one of the best teams as well. But okay, just dominating in the PMCO won't do it. Now you will have to go up against the best of the best, and this is when you are going to get tested to your limits.
Exactly, and the test is going to come in the fact, as you said, it does not matter if you dominated your own region. Now it's time to dominate the entire region of South Asia. You're going to be competing against teams that you have or have not played before. But as we did see in the prize money distribution, the prize pool for Season 1 is $2,000. In total, in a grand total, there's $16,000 that's going to be on the line for these lads that are going to be performing. And how do you earn the prize money? How do you move forward to the finals? Well, to do that, you have to earn points in every single match that you play. And the point distribution system, I mean, it's going to be the standard one that we have for almost all the tournaments that we are having in the international PUBG region.
Yeah, certainly. It's just pretty standard. Of course, the first player is getting 15 points, and then, of course, so on it goes and descending. And, of course, 1 kill point per kill. And now this is what exactly changes the meta completely. Now this is a more kill-focused meta over here. If you manage to secure at least 14 kills, that means your team is racking up 14 kills, even if you're not really able to get one of those best placement points. Of course, so kill is going to be main focus as well.
Exactly, and we've seen this time and time again, wherein teams that are getting eliminated earlier on but have, as you said, 14 kills would be a little too high, but I'd say 9 kills, 8 kills, they still get a lot of points, because at the end of the day, it's all about the points that you get in the match, and, well, kills get you those points. But talking about points, talking about getting kills, let's have a look at the teams as well, and, well, it's going to be the teams that are going to be performing, ladies and gentlemen. Starting things off, we have PN Crew, Venom Legends, R3G Esports, Train to Kill, God's Reborn, Freestyle, a pretty big name coming in from Pakistan, along with 7C Esports representing the region of Nepal, and XB Blood region. 7C is quite interesting in the fact that we did talk about them. We've seen them in the, for quite a while now, and it's a hybrid of players from Nepal and Bangladesh.
Yeah, certainly, and of course, most of the players are from like Nepal region as well as Bangladesh, and yeah, of course, and Pakistan as well. But overall performance, if we talk about, I really want to focus on our Blood Legions over here. Blood Legions, one of the team coming in from Bangladesh over here, just completely decimating inside that region over there. We did see them just completely decimate anyone who was standing in front of their faces. But are they going to be able to keep up the performance this time now?
Yeah, exactly. And as you mentioned, the going up against the best of the best, we are seeing a lot of big names from their respective regions, ladies and gentlemen, in these South Asia Pro Scrims. And this is going to put a lot of pressure on the players to perform, because now it's not just about the money, it's going to be about the bragging rights as well. We always like to mention that, because after all, these players are competitive players. Money does help, but the fact that you can call yourself the best in 3 different regions, like combined together, that's a totally different ball game if you talk about it.
Yep, certainly, and one thing also I'm really like, which is boggling my mind, is certainly is going to be what kind of strategies are they going to be putting in scrims. Of course, in the main final tournament, the strategy will be completely different. But now, what kind of ball game are they going to be playing this time, though? Of course, in scrims, it's more kind of going to be like you don't really want to show up your strategy to the other teams, and you don't really want to get tackled in the final circles. But now, overall, in the future, of course, we are going to be seeing some new strategy coming in. But now, in the scrims, are they going to be using the strategies that they were using in the PNCO, or just the overall Season 2, or are they going to be using some complete new strategies just to catch their enemies off guard?
See, those are some really nice questions, Necro, and I love them. And I think our audience are going to be asking the same things because, after all, as you did mention, I mean, scrims usually for the teams, it means practice matches. So if you'd like to practice some new things, or you'd like to just polish the old tactics that you have. But with that, let's have a look at the schedule for the ladies and gentlemen. And it is going to be quite interesting because, as I mentioned, the round-robin format is going to be there for the groups, but the maps are going to be played out in an interesting manner. So today, we're going to see first A versus B on Erangel, then we will have B versus C on Erangel, and then in the end C versus A on the same map, Erangel. So our days are going to be divided basically by maps. Today it's going to be the day of Erangel.
Yep, certainly, and this is what exactly we want to see. This is where they are going to be testing their waters on each and every single maps. This is where they are going to be testing new strategies as well. Now, scrims, of course, you don't mean like you have everything on the line. Of course, yeah, you do get a little bit of money, but certainly, you know, it's more kind of like you want to test the strategies going up against the top teams. And if you are not going to be certainly, you know, the strategies are not favoring your team or not neither your teammates, then that's when you need to know that, okay, this is the time we need to switch our strategy completely.
Yeah, and also just the fact that the scrims are a little bit more fast-paced. I mean, you have 3 matches happening every single day for a total of 6 days, and then 2 days of the finals. You have moments to recover. I mean, if Erangel doesn't go along your way, I mean, imagine you screw up day number 1. Nothing goes wrong. You can still perform. You can still go out on day number 2 and try and secure some prize money for yourselves on the next map that's going to be played, or on the next Erangel that comes up once the first rotation of the maps is done. That is going to be day number 4. So you can try and secure some money on Erangel then, and by then I think you will have figured out, because you will have the sample size of the matches that are going to be played today to work upon. So a lot of opportunity for the teams that are participating over here to actually improve themselves, as you said, before they move on to the big stages. And it's going to be super exciting to watch. I mean, it's always lovely to see these 3 regions clash amongst themselves. I mean, we all remember PMPL Season 2 and how that broke out. I mean, it was super fun, super exciting. But this time, it's going to be on the next level.
Certainly, it is going to be on the next level. As I was saying, we did see some new talents rising up. But now, they did dominate in their regions, and some team actually did manage to clutch their spots barely on the 3rd position overall as well. But now, this is where just clutching won't do it. You need to be the best, because you are going up against the best of the teams. And if you're just going to be focusing on just the 3rd slot, then maybe, you know, you're just doing something wrong here, because you need to aim for that top slot as well all the time. Because this is when, because you're not each and every single team is going to be getting that top slot. And certainly, if you're going to be aiming for that top 1, then maybe you do have a really good chance going inside this. But now, heading directly inside the game, now taking a look at the plane flight path is going to be going up against Stalwart to directly to Sasnovka military base.
Yeah, so the trajectory of the plane leans towards the eastern side of the map, but I mean, it is going to be super interesting to see, are we going to see clashes on the usual locations? I mean, how many teams are going to go towards Yasnaya Poliana? Are we going to see a clash happen towards Novorepnoy military base area? But talking about teams taking an early exit, P and Crew looks like they are going to be heading towards the Severny area. Might be looking to move towards the western side of the map, but how deep towards the west, we're going to find out in a short while.
Yep, certainly. And one team I really want to focus on as well, it's going to be P and Crew. Of course, this man Ayush right here, he was just so good in getting those frags for his teams overall. And just overall how he was like dominating and decapitalizing. And he, I feel like, is one of the lurkers that is really good in what he's doing. And he does know how to lurk and how to like find his way through tricky situations. This man is just overall so good at finding his path.
And also, I mean, P and Crew recently, I mean, you do see it right there, Necro, don't you? Killer YT is in the team.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, I did hear about that. They actually did sign Killer YT, and we all know, how can we forget that Miramar came and this man just completely obliterated lobby and got 13 kills, and this is why Killer YT is in PN Crew this time.
I mean, so PN Crew, they've always been one of the OGs of the PUBG Mobile scene in Nepal, and they have a lot of expectations from the fans that they have to live up to, and I think this new lineup that we do see in front of us, I mean, this is going to be super deadly, but this is going to be our first time seeing Killer YT with the lads of the PN Crew side, so it's going to be super interesting to see how this team actually fares up when the players are playing with each other. But now almost everyone has exited the plane. good. I mean, it looks pretty good for the players of Freestyle since they are the only team that have
Yeah.
decided to go towards the military island. Right now, they are on the Novorepnoy containers area, but trouble is going to arise for them when they have to cross to the northern side because that is going to be a challenge. We did see the players of T2K close to the bridge, and a scuffle might break out. But talking about skirmishes breaking out, XB Rangers already being part of the action.
Yep, certainly, and of course we all do like that early action. Then this time it's going to be Carnage getting punished, and it's going to be Jiggle, one of their IGLs going down. And certainly we all know when you lose that IGL, it's basically the main string of the team completely falling apart.
Yeah, and it was Gyro just taking him down. XB Blood Legion already starting off with 1 point.
Yep, this is what I'm talking about. These lads are just so aggressive, and these guys are just so bloodthirsty overall. And Blood Legion, what I really like about this team is that these guys are not scared to actually challenge the fight. No matter how tricky situation you are in, these guys won't back off. These guys won't back off. These guys will do their best, use the utilities to their best usage, and just overall keep on aggressing their way through.
Yeah.
And even if they do actually get some casualties in, they do actually somehow still manage to just clutch the situation out. I've seen so many situations like this where Blood Legion was like, okay, Blood Legion is gonna lose this. There's no way they survive this, and just one man completely demolishes the entire enemy team, and you're just like, oh my god, what just happened?
But talking about casualties, I mean, look at this, Necro. So we have Venom Legends on our screen right now, and it looks like they haven't had a casualty, but they're just there with a 3-man roster in here. That can be a tricky situation for them to work with. But I mean, time and time again, as you mentioned, I mean, these lads, they have a never give up attitude with them. No matter how bad the situation, they're gonna fight till they are taken out inside of the game and till they are sent back to the lobby. So Venom Legends, we're gonna have to see how they actually manage to perform in this game with just the 3 players.
Yeah, I mean, certainly it's going to be more kind of like a handicap situation going on for these lads. But now, overall, taking a look at 7C as well, this is also one of the teams that we need to watch out for as well. And certainly, if they're going to be having an area like Pachinki in their hands, then we all do know they're going to be coming out on top with that juicy loot. But now, overall, going back to PN Crew, you said they did sign in Killer YT, which is really good, which is fantastic. But it also does affect the team synergy overall. Now, you do know that if you are going to be playing with one of their teammates for a long time, then you do know how he plays, how he thinks, just the overall gameplay. You just get so familiar with him. But now, if you're going to be taking a new man inside the roster, then that just might be tricking the things a little bit for your team to overall understand his gameplay, how he plays, how he processes the game, and how he challenges each and every single fight. That might be a little bit of problem going inside for PN Crew as well.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. Changing one player can actually impact the performance a lot. And sometimes, I mean, if that player is as well, if he's as influential in the lineup as someone like Killer YT, you might have to change your entire playstyle and try and figure out a way that you can best utilize the skills, try and play around that player. But look at this, Venom Legends already with a handicap, and now comes the second as Void was knocked out. The players of Magnus Esports charging in. This is going to be an easy finish. A nade from Ortosa is going to be able to get a finish, but Adil goes in, goes for the shots, drops him down to 50% HP.
No.
Oh, the damage coming in on his own teammate. Not too much to worry about. I mean, they don't have that many threats in the nearby area, so quite a comfortable position for the players of Magnus Esports.
Yes, certainly. There is one more teammate from the Venom there, but now, as you mentioned, they're only down to 3 people, and certainly they do not really want to challenge this fight if they actually want to keep themselves in. Maybe we don't really know what exactly happened. Maybe he just had some connection issues. We're not going to get into that. But now, overall performance coming in from Magnus, of course, the opening kill is going to be boosting their confidence a lot much more. And also, Blood Legion was one of the team actually managed to take out one of the IGLs from Carnage, and that is also going to be such a massive confidence booster for them as well.
Well, definitely, and confidence boosters are something that you need. But talking about boosted confidence, I mean, this time for Venom Legends, it's going to be going down in the opposite direction because now you just have 2 players. You know there's a squad next to you, and the question is, how do you get out? Frypan and Steel Shot, they're going to be in an uncomfortable position. But I don't think, so they don't realize that it's just 2 players from the side of Magnus Esports that they're up against, because in a 2v2 situation, you still might be able to take the fight and come out on top, and then you have impacted the opponents in a way that now they are the ones left for 2 players, and you might just be able to move yourself forward and get a squad wipe. But it's going to be quite tricky to make that happen. But for now, I mean, still the early stages of the game, not that many casualties inside the match, and Well, Magnus, what are they doing? They're still sticking close to the edge of the circle. I think it's they have gotten themselves a kill. It's time to already regroup with their own teammates and not risk the situation, because it's risky business, right? If you are isolated in a position where you have just gotten the kill, you know the opponents are going to be keeping an eye on you.
Yep, certainly. And we all do know how important those early game rotations can be. If you're going to be taking that middle of the circle rotation inside in your hands, and if you're going to be securing a compound or at least like a decent amount of cover inside the circle, and at least if it's in the middle of the circle, then that's going to be just panning so many things out in your team's favor, and that's just going to be so overall good for your team. But now overall, also sometimes if you're going to be staying on the edges, that can be working out, but it's more kind of like you're relying on your luck.
Yeah, I agree with you. It is literally like relying on your luck. Oh, they might have moved out, and PUBG Mobile is a game. I mean, battle royales in general is a genre that you can't have luck factor in your favor. You can't rely on that one equation working out for you. You have to be prepared for the worst case scenario. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, Adil, he's going to be spotted out on the buggy. The shots coming in both from Steel Shot and Frypan. They actually miss their mark. Adil gets away, but now Oreo is here from the backlines.
Exactly, and certainly this fight is going to be going down this time. It doesn't really seem like any of the teams are going to be backing out.
Oh!
Yep, the nade is coming in through, and the nade is going to be missing. A little bit of miscalculation coming in from this man, but certainly, yes, he is going to be retreating. And just take a look at the aggression coming in from MGS this time. Oreo, this man is just not scared of anyone. There are just so many missed nades coming in from these lads as well. Oreo does realize that there are two players in two of those buildings, and certainly he doesn't really want to expose his body way too much while he's trying to nade in. Is that nade going to make it? And yes! What a beautiful nade, but the exchange, the trade of the nades is just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and this is why we said do not rely on your luck in this game, ladies and gentlemen, as fate would have it. Oreo, even though two nades were missed, the third one actually connects. And oh, Murtaza, he's here. Steel Shot going for the revive. Murtaza is going to go for the revive as well. Look at this. Adil behind the blue zone. He is inside the blue zone, taking a lot of damage, but now he has actually managed to bring himself to safety. The position of the players from Magnus is known. This is a 2 versus 3 situation right now. I hope this one does not bounce off, but it was a bit overcooked. The damage was done though. Murtaza, barely any HP left on him. Steel Shot goes in, 1 versus 2, takes both of them down. And this fight, Venom Legends, they have managed to turn things around.
Yep, certainly beautiful utility usage, and we all know how crucial can these utilities be sometimes. But now, Adil does capitalize on one of the players from, it's going to be Venom Legends going down, and it's going to be Frypan, certainly paying the casualty. But now, overall, Adil does realize the depth of the situation. He is using his utilities, throwing those Molotovs, just overall, really crucial situations are happening in front of us. Steel Shot does realize that he needs to go in for the res if he actually wants to stay inside the game, and he is taking the safer route. But now, it does seem like Adil doesn't really want to be too much aggressive and just give his life away that easily. So he's just going to be going inside the building, taking the high ground. At the same time, he does realize that one of his teammates is going to be weakened in the backlines. But just take a look at that nade, completely finishing out Frypan. What an unfortunate turn of events for Venom Legends this time.
Now it's just Steel Shot, the last player surviving for the side of Venom Legends. Adil right in front of him. And look at this. Look at the map. He has been sandwiched. Steel Shot, can you take this one? 2 kills already confirmed. Is this going to be a 1 versus 4 situation? He does not have any heals on him, Necro. He has 5 bandages. The energy drink has been utilized with a UMP. This is going to be a tough fight for this man to actually pull off, hiding inside the smokes right now. And, well, I think it's just going to be a matter of time before the players of Oh, this might just work out. The blue zone on Adil, even though this is not, this is just the second blue zone moving in, Adil is still going to take a bit of chip damage. And if he does not have those heals, if he does not have those boosters running in, this is going to cause some trouble. Steel Shot might just be able to take this one, but no, he gets spotted out, and the Weekend is going to finish him off. Weekend gets knocked out, but his teammate is there for the revive.
Yep, certainly unfortunate. So unfortunate for Venom Legends there. But now, overall, this exact fight was just so reliant on those utility users. We did see some incredible nades being thrown from both of the sides. And of course, Venom Legends did miss kind of 2 nades in the start. But then just overall, the way they actually recovered from that was just absolutely fascinating. But now, taking a look at the airdrop, of course, it's going to be the best of the best guns. MK14, one of my favorites, actually.
Well, definitely. I mean, I like this gun as well. You want to use it as DMR for the long range? You can. You want to use it in close range as an AR? Well, you can do that as well. Whatever you want, this gun is there for it. And I mean, it is quite an interesting weapon. But I mean, it comes in the airdrop, right? And with the red smoke coming from the airdrop, it's like a beacon that's going to attract a lot of opponents towards you.
Yep.
So that is why going for an airdrop is always going to be super risky. This one, we're going to see, like, we're going to wait and see actually who goes in to get that weapon for themselves. If you actually manage to do that, that's going to be a really big advantage to you. But let's talk about this. So the circle, oh, it still moves towards the school area.
Ooh. Yep, certainly. It's just completely panning out in the middle of the circle. And this is exactly what I was saying. If you're going to be taking those early rotations inside the circle, and if you are lucky enough to, like, if the circle is going to be blessing you, then just overall, you are just in a really good shoes, and just the overall position you've gotten is just really good. And now it seems like Gurkha High Voltage this time are taking a complete long rotation from Yasnaya, from the backlines, of course, but they are going to be meeting DRS and PN in that same time. Are they going to be able to take them out, or how are they going to be panning things out? Because the route that they are choosing, certainly they are going to be running straight into DRS. But now, for a second, I'm going to hold on to my words, because there is a fight erupting, and it's going to be just a complete disaster. Because just take a look at these teams' position. They're out in the open, and all they have is a little bit of ridge. Now, Joker does have that little bit of backline edge, but certainly somewhere down the line, we all do know that they are in a really uncomfortable spot.
I mean, this spot is definitely uncomfortable. Out in the open, all you have the dip for cover. But look at this. Oh, Ayush, is he going to get this? Barely managed to take the knock over there. But, I mean, the player does manage to survive. And as long as the knock doesn't come in, you can always come back. But this is still going to be a troublesome situation for the lads, because now your information, your location is given away. Look at this. FS, Tyrant, Luffy, and Ali Skate, all just they're stuck in that shack. DRS Gaming, they know exactly where these lads are. The smokes are also just like laying out a beacon as to where to shoot, where to throw the nades.
Yep, certainly, and we all do know that smoke sometimes do provide that essential cover, but also it does grab so much attention from those enemy teams as well. Certainly shots are being exchanged from both sides, F4 and FS, but it doesn't really seem like none of them are going to be connecting. But now we all do know that FS is in a really uncomfortable spot and overall uncomfortable situation. If they're going to get caught off guard, even one of the members from FS gets knocked down, the push will be coming in through, and yes, just take a look at those nades just barraging in through from DRS side, and seems like, yep, they are going to be capitalizing onto it as well. Yep, the smokes are coming in through just to build up a little bit of pathway to actually make way for FS, but certainly they might get caught off guard in those rotations when they're going to be making it in the open grounds.
Well, definitely, but the fact that the players of FS have managed to revive themselves and they have sort of opened up an opportunity from where they can escape, that is a pretty big deal for them, and they need to make sure that they utilize this opportunity quite perfectly. DRS might not give them this chance again and again, but Luffy on the other side actually managed to get a knock on one of the players from F4. So now this team is, well, in a bit of a pickle right now, because look at the map. They're surrounded from three different directions. We know there's F4 because FS just got a knock from the team. Then there's Portal Esports right next to them, right behind them, in fact, and DRS in front of them.
Yep, certainly, and that's going to be happening. But now, overall, taking a look at the kill feed, also one of the early casualties going on, it's going to be from Blood Legion's side. He did get knocked out, but I really want to know once the Reds came in through, though. That is one of the most crucial things that we all want to know, because we do know what Blood Legion is capable of doing. And certainly, just take a look at that nade! It just completely decimated the entire squad of FS, and just a well-placed nade coming in from DRS.
That was absolutely insane, and that is exactly what we were talking about. I mean, smokes do provide you with a cover, but good utility usage and, well, not good positioning from the opponents might just give you a squad wipe coming in. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, DRS, they're going to be feeling really spicy right now, because look at them. They are on the outer side of, on the outer edge of the circle right now, trying to get an entry from the southern side of school. And that is where a team is already waiting for them. This is going to be absolutely brutal for the side of DRS. I mean, they just ended a fight, and now they have to take another one in an uncomfortable spot as well. But look at this. Now, the remaining players from the side of Magnus, again, stuck out in the open. The first challenge for them is going to be, how do we get in the circle?
Yep, and that's going to be a challenge for a lot of teams. Even GR from the backlines and even PN are making their way slowly inside the circle. But now, I'm going to hold on to my words for a second because the fight over here are just erupting in so much. Just take a look at the minimap. There are so many teams in the nearby vicinity, and the fight is going to be breaking it through with each and every single one of them, as well as we take a look at FSGSM. He does spot one of the players from the enemy team there and does realize that there are a lot of shots going on in that direction, but certainly not really able to spot anyone, though. Of course, the rotations are coming in through, and just take a look at how many knockdowns are being there. T2K certainly losing out of two other players. It's going to be rated, sir, and it's going to be Sarge going down this time, and also the finishes are going to be coming through. T2K in such an uncomfortable spot.
Well, they are in a really uncomfortable spot right now because now the players of Portal Esports also know their location, but now Insane, he's going to spot a count from the side of F4. The shots do come in, but again, not being able to get a knock is going to be the thing that Portal Esports are going to have to worry about. Motu on the other side, the revive is coming in from Joker. FS is also going to be a team that they have to worry about. So now look at the edge of the circle on the map. Every single team is in the edge. There's absolutely, I think there are two teams fighting for the control of the center of the circle. These edges are going to be brutal because now you have to take fight in multiple directions at the same time. And if you're shooting in one direction, if you're totally tunnel vision in one direction, that means you're exposed from the back, you're exposed from the sides, and that can be quite detrimental to the team's performance moving forward. And as I said, there's just one team in the center right now that have taken control of the Potato Hill.
Yep, certainly. And as you mentioned, that exposing your body to get those kills secured for yourself is certainly not really a good idea. But overall, you don't really have any choice when you're just put in such an uncomfortable spot. And just take a look at that nade. Also managed to take out another player of T2K. Jane barely surviving on his knees, though. But the res is coming in through. And the res, yes, is going to be coming in through. Jane finally back on his knees, going to be healing himself. And seems like T2K are in a little bit of comfortable situation this time. But seems like Evil Eye is going to be spotting. And he is going down. Ball blade is going down this time, and certainly another nade inside the shack going through, and Evil Eye this time gets knocked out. Jane is doing such a fantastic job in completely capitalizing the entire team of FS this time, but certainly it doesn't really seem like Jane is going to be stopping just with that. He needs some more kills in his hands. He is just going to be barraging those nades through inside the shack. Does realize that he doesn't need to get his teammate inside the shack. If he does, then that's a res coming in, but certainly the res is not going to be coming in through anymore, because the nade is just going to be completely finishing out the team of FS, and also the trades are coming in through.
A complete suicide from the players of Futurestation as they were totally focused on Jane from the team of T2K. Portal Esports, they close her in from the rear, finish them off, and now they're going to look to move forward in the match. But the circle takes a massive steps on the other side. Ladies and gentlemen, we have XB Blood Legion taking the fight against the players of CNE. Snipe White, he is going to be taking down. Nuclear is there. Gyro is going to be there behind the rock. Ample amount of covers to the play for the players to play around with. But there are still in fact two players from the side of Carnage Esports, and well, Nuclear is going to be spotted out. Shots come in from Praveen. He takes one down. The players spread apart from each other. They are separated from each other. Gyro in the front line. Look at Leon. He is quite far back, but Gyro, he's going to be able to pull this one out of the bag and hit it out of the park, ladies and gentlemen, as he clutches the 1v2, and now he's going to have to move forward in the circle because the blue zone is coming in after all.
This is exactly what I'm saying when it comes to Blood Legions. Just the overall capacity that they have to just clutch the fights in their hand is just so fascinating to watch. But now it seems like F4 and LoG1 this time seems like they are going to be getting inside a fight. And we all do know that LoG1 is one of the teams that do like to secure that great position inside those late circle. But they really do back out when it comes to challenge a fight. And certainly this is going to be the same thing happening. LoG1 is trying their best not to engage in a fight. They're going to be using those utilities. The smoke grenades are coming through just to overall block the entire vision of F4, but F4 does realize the depth of the situation, so they are going to be using those frag grenades and even just overall smokes to provide a little bit of cover for themselves to just move on and take a better position onto their enemy team. And yes, that certainly is going to be happening. Just take a look at these last. They are just completely racking them from all across the angles.
Well, definitely, and as you said, all across the angles, because now that is, well, how you're going to have to take a fight and from all the directions. F4, they have them surrounded. The nades are going to be thrown inside the houses, but how much damage can you dish out? Plus, for the team that they're trying to charge upon, I mean, another challenge arises in the fact that if you try and avoid F4, if you try and avoid the fight in front of you, you're going to have to take the fight from the back. That's going to be Portal Esports. F4, they lose out on Zed, and the revive is going to come in. The HP bars are low, but Kani's trying to find an opening, and this could be be it. The knock does come in. It's just one more player that they have to deal with. Uzi in the hands, perfect close ranges, but now he's going to go down. Voltrux comes in next. There is no HP on the lad in the ghillie suit, and he gets finished off. F4. They are starting to kick things up a notch. 6 kills already confirmed for the entire squad. The revives are going to come in. I mean, Zedin is already up. Khan is going to be revived. They're going to heal up and they're going to move forward. But this last fight, look at that. Circle in the middle of nowhere, ladies and gentlemen. Out in the open, everyone is going to be completely exposed. And that is what we love.
Yep. Exactly, these teams will have to get the rotation inside the circle, and when they are going to be rotating inside, of course, they're going to be exposing their body in the middle of the way. And how are they going to be capitalizing over that? Of course, the smoke grenades will be coming into use, but no, I'm going to hold on to my words while we just see A1 Esports this time just completely showering down bullets on their enemies, but certainly not really able to completely connect any of those shots onto anyone. So they are just going to be playing a little bit safe this time. And yes, this is exactly what I was saying. The rotations are coming through. The smoke pads are being built just to overall get a rotation and take a little bit of damage in the process. Of course, exposing your body is going to be a really unfortunate decision over there for all these teams, but they also do not have any other choice. And just take a look at Zayden taking doing so much damage on those vehicles. Of course, going to be blasting out one of those vehicles, and that certainly is going to be finishing one kill for him. It's going to be spotting another one, Joker going down in the process. Of course, unfortunate turn of events, and now they are getting capitalized from the backlines as well. PES is in such an uncomfortable spot as they're only down to one last man standing. It's going to be Modu.
Well, definitely, and the trouble is not going to stop right there, because now F4, they have the numbers of the players of Portal Esports. But Voltrux, look at this, all exposed. His teammate was behind him trying to toss a nade towards the opponent. The damage is definitely going to be dished out, but F4, they are smack in the center of all the aggression. In fact, they are the ones who are aggressing in all the directions and towards every single one player that they have spotted out. The player from the side of Portal Esports that they knocked out, I mean, the finish is going to come in for them. But now, look at this, A1 Esports against the players of 7Cs. And well, everyone is thrown down right now. The smokes have been popped out, but it's going to be a huge challenge to see how they actually plan to move forward in the circle. 2 players left for A1 Esports, Shoykot and 6ix9ine in the backline. Shoykot, well, managed to get a knock on Smokey, but 2 players right in front. Those are the 2 players that he has to worry about the most. The nade comes in and the knock is going to be there on 6ix9ine. Shoykot is going to be the last player surviving in a 1 versus 3 situation, and he gets another one. True Love's HP is also really low. He's sitting there on 50% HP. Shoykot goes in, tries to fire in the smoke. He's going to go for the finish, but no, he gets caught with his pants down and finished off by True Love. And ladies and gentlemen, well, 7C, they are the squad that survives.
Yep, unfortunate turn of events. Did try his best to actually keep his team inside the game, but certainly wasn't really able to do that. And surely now 7C is in a really decent amount of spot overall. Taking a look at all their teammates are still alive. Yes, some are really down low HP, but certainly they will be healing themselves up as the time is going to be moving on. Now just take a look at the bullets being peppered down, and of course Khan going down in the process. Unfortunate turn of events coming in from that man. And now certainly it does seem like the situations are looking a little bit calm. And as I am saying, Zayden taking so much heavy fire, and now Blood Legion Gyro also going down in the process. But now Leo is last man standing for Blood Legion. Does know that he needs to keep his teammates alive, or he needs to keep his team alive. So he's just going to be playing as safe as he can. And now just take a look what Destroyer is doing. He's completely destroying his enemies with that M4 Certainly not really able to connect any of those shots, but is also going to be throwing some suppressive shots in.
Well, definitely, and the shots that are coming in are pretty crucial. As you said, suppressing fire, it allows your teammates to actually move in, and well, in the process, you can pin down your opponents and delay their movements inside the match. But now, with 5 teams remaining, who is going to be the victors? True Love, he comes in for the revive on Smokey, but no, Smokey is going to be dropped down so low by Mafia Ninja, and well, Mafia Ninja is trying to get the finish on them, but now everyone has ignored these lads, XB Blood Legion. And as time and time again, Necro, you have been mentioning that these guys, these players from XB Blood Legion, they can clutch their way out of anything. With 5 teams, 8 players, make that 7 players alive. Is Leo going to be able to clutch his team's performance to a victory?
Exactly. There is Leon right in front of him, but is he going to be capitalizing on his position? Is moving a little bit closer time by time, but certainly it's going to be coming down to which player is going to be spotting who first. And seems like, yep, Leo just catches a fluke and is going to be taking him down in the process. But now it seems like 7C Reek is going to be taking down Destroyer at the same time. But now overall, unfortunate as a placement coming in for Destroyer there as well. But also 7C losing another man in the process is going to be True Love. And it seems like Rick is in the back lines taking heavy fire, and he is inside the zone as well. He's taking, yup, unfortunate for him as well. The zone didn't pan out, and of course the rotation wasn't made in time. And certainly this is what happens when you do not respect the zone.
Well, definitely. Gotta respect the blue zone. Dishes out a lot of damage, especially if it's the 8th blue zone. I mean, you're not going to be able to survive this one. But now it is F4. Look at their position. They are so close to the circle. All they have to do is just gatekeep the 2 lads in front of them. 2 versus 1 situation. This game has been laid out for these lads. Destroyer and Voltrux, they need to make sure that they secure the chicken dinner in this one. On the other side, Leo, the best case scenario for him is finish off Mafia Ninja, pick up his kill point, and then try and clutch out the 1v2 against the players of F4. What is going to happen? I mean, this is going to be super interesting. Mafia Ninja, look at him. He's crawling towards the position of Leo. But Leo, the utility being tossed out with him might just be a signal as to where he exactly is. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Mafia Ninja finishes them off. The final 2 teams, 3 players. F4 with 2 lads. Mafia Ninja gets up behind the smokes, tries to move forward. And, well, he does. Just an edge, but he does.
Certainly, and us, as I was saying, that's going to be the end of the story for Blood Legion this time. But now it's between DRS and F4s. Of course, F4 does have that man advantage going inside. It's going to be 2-on-1 situation. Mafia Ninja is going to be in a little bit of uncomfortable spot as we take a look at. Of course, Destroyer is going to get spotted. Beautiful shots coming in from this man, and the finish will be coming in through as well. Mafia is just an absolute eagle eye as we keep on talking. Waltrix is also going to get spotted. The suppressing fire are coming in through from Waltrix as well. Certainly doesn't know where he is, and yes, it's going to be another game down, and that's just an absolute beautiful fight breaking down, and it's going to be F4 securing that chicken dinner this time.
Well, F4, they secure the chicken dinner, and look at Warfrex. What an absolute monster. 6 kills coming in for this one individual. They secure the chicken dinner, and but it was a clutch one. I mean, because Mafia Ninja, he brought it down to a 1v1, and kudos to Mafia Ninja as well, securing the 5 kills for his team. But moving forward, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, this was just the very first game. There are still a lot of opportunities for these lads to actually move forward and secure those points. But, I mean, an impressive performance coming in from almost every single one of these teams.
Yep, and unfortunate turn of events this time for Carnage, though. We did expect so many things going up inside this team. And, of course, one of their main man, as I was saying, the main string was broken early off. It was the IGL jiggle going down early off. And certainly that is what actually paid off in those later games.
Not just Carnage, I mean, the way Freestyle was taken out, that was quite unfortunate. No one could have predicted that would happen, like a nade landing perfectly in through the top of the shack. But on the other side, I mean, Venom Legends, an unfortunate scenario for them as well. Just 3 players coming in and taking on the players of Magnus Esports. That was actually a situation they handled really well. But that was sort of bad on the part of Magnus Esports because it was a 4 versus 2 situation. The numbers were in the favor of Magnus. They could have just easily finished them off had they been together. I mean, the lesson from that entire fight is going to be don't be split up.
Yep, certainly. And what I was saying is the synergy was lacking over here. If you're going to be peeking at once, you should let your teammates know, okay, guys, I'm going to be peeking this time. Make sure, even if I go down, just make sure to get that trade in. And certainly this is what I was saying. The synergy was lacking somewhere down the line.
Exactly. I mean, getting those trades is pretty important. I mean, perfect example is going to be Frypan from the side of Venom Legends, who actually ended up trading himself out with a grenade. So you pull off stuff like that. I mean, definitely you put yourself in an advantageous situation. And Steel Shot actually did move forward, converting that into 2 kills. But this was just the very first game, ladies and gentlemen. We still have 2 more matches remaining, and it's going to be super exciting to see how we move forward. Plus, I mean, we did see the teams from Group A and B in action. Now Group C is going to be entering the party, so who knows what will happen.
Yep, we all know, and we all love surprises as well. And as I was saying, new strategies will be built up as well in the process. Now, overall, we did see some big names going off early this time. Carnage in the process, but Blood Legions in the same line did manage to secure that 3rd spot, but. If Leo wasn't the last man standing, and if he had at least like Gyro or Dominic who in the backlines for him covered up, I'm pretty sure this might be Blood Legion's game. Just overall, they were playing.
I agree with that. I mean, if you had he had one more player, they could have actually managed to close the situation and convert it into a chicken dinner. The problem arises in the fact that you are basically in a sandwich situation. You know, there's one player in front of you, and you know the flank is also covered as well. You are in a choke point, and it was basically a YOLO moment for Leo over there. I mean, he could have just might as well just get up and start shooting in the middle of nowhere, trying to see if he
Yeah.
can catch someone off guard, because it was pretty much over at that point. Mafia Ninja did not have to worry about his back. Both his opponents were in front of him and at not too wide of an angle over there. So that also plays into a factor, because if you are constantly moving, looking in one direction, then looking in the other, you are always going to be distracted. Having a teammate in that scenario is always going to be beneficial to you. And that sort of played out in the factor of F4, where Destroyer basically just baited himself out to get the information on where Mafia Ninja was, and Walter's actually going for the finish.
Yep, I mean, we all do know. I mean, even if we're talking about baits, sometimes those baits are actually one of the most crucial things that you need. And in the process, okay, if you're going to be risking one of your teammates' life, if you're going to be baiting, it's fine. If it's going to be completely, opting situations out in your team's favor, then one or two baits, it's completely fine, because we do know if you're going to be having the confidence in your teammate that, yeah, even if I go down, if you're going to be trading that out instantly, and this is what we're saying, the confidence, the trust comes in with synergy. Synergy comes with a lot of time spent with your teammates and just the overall gameplay time you guys have shown with each other.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. And I mean, it was a 1v4. We see this as a standard way of finishing when you know you are in an advantage situation. You have the numbers advantage in your favor. And F4 with this wonderful finish, and I mean, they secure themselves the 24 points. The team below them sitting on 20 points. So not much of a difference right there. But consistency is going to be key over here. But looking at the next half of the standings, I mean, not a really good start for the squads of PN Crew and Freestyle, two of the very big teams that we were actually having a lot of expectations for. But ladies and gentlemen, the day is just getting started. I mean, who knows what's going to come up next?
Yep, we do, and these groups are going to be playing again, though. So, yeah, of course, the chance is not gone for the first day. They will again be competing against each other. And overall, one team also I really want to talk about over here is going to be God's Reborn. They did manage to, close the overall situation in PMC regional finals for themselves, but this time isn't really able to show up much. And this is what exactly I was saying. Even if you're not really able to do well in the scrims, it doesn't mean that you're not really going to be doing good in the PMPL stages. It just means that you need to put some more time in, put some more practice in, and just overall get your gameplay more stronger.
Exactly. This is like for the teams that have qualified for the PMPL. I mean, this is just going to be, as we do say, this is going to be a practice run for them. Just make sure you can find a strategy that gives you the consistent results again and again and again and again. If you're playing Erangel 4 times in these total scrims, see what works out the most. I mean, and that is what this is going to be all about. But before we move to the next match, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a very short break. So you guys stay tuned and keep watching. We'll be right back. again, welcome back to the PUBG Mobile South Asia Pro Scrims. My name is Varun Super Johnny John. Joining me, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be Necro. And match one for day number one is over. We're going to be moving forward to match number two, which is going to be played between the teams from Group B and C.
Yep, and that is going to be happening. But overall, I really still want to focus on PN. As I was saying, just overall new lineup changes coming in from these lads, and certainly did show up. And as I was saying, that is certainly is going to be affecting their team synergy. And they were on the complete bottom lines in the leaderboards as well. And that is exactly what happens. If your synergy is not going to be building up, your team might get caught off guard in a little bit of troubles, and just the overall rotation and just the overall callouts which come, because you really want to set your gameplay to each and every single player that you have inside the team. And if it's going to be one player is going to be uncomfortable playing with the others, then that's just going to be completely, uncomfortable situations panning in your team's favor out.
But I think this is the perfect opportunity for them to actually try this new lineup out and try and figure out the best way for them to build the synergy, right? Because these are, well, the South Asia Pro Scrims, ladies and gentlemen. And, well, the match number two is live in front of us. We do see the plane moving from the southeastern point of the map to the northwestern side. So it's going to be starting from the Nova Rupnoy area and moving forward somewhere towards the southern side of hospital. So quite a southern side leading trajectory. If you want to go towards Yasnaya Poliana, that's going to be a bit of a troublesome situation. All right, it goes to the northern Georgia Pole City. Actually, a little bit of a misjudgment on the angle of the plane over there. Probably why I never became a pilot. But I mean, talking about the game, this time we do have STALWARTxFLEX, ladies and gentlemen, that are going to be taking control of the military base.
Yep, and that is going to be happening. Just overall, if you're going to be getting that military-based control, we all do know what kind of juicy loot you are going to be coming up with them. And certainly it's going to be a Futurestation as well, getting that Nova Rupnoy area contested for yourself. And just take a look at the circle. If the circle actually pans out in the entire military base favor, then the situation might get real tricky for all these teams which are on the other side of the island. Of course, the team that are going to be STALWARTxFLEX and Futurestation, they are going to be having a real good time just to stay inside and camp the complete bridge out. But the overall teams that are going to be making the rotation inside, it's just going to be free kills flying up for these teams.
I mean, this is going to be super interesting, because now, I mean, look at this. So as you said, if the circle actually moves to the military island, then it's going to be beneficial to them. But we've usually seen that the circles of this type, the circles that are split between the two islands, they sometimes actually do tend to stay split for a really long time, and that becomes a tricky situation for the IGLs, because you have to decide, you have to take a gamble where you're going to go. Are you stick on the main island? Are you going to go to the military island? And if your gamble does not pan out, then your entire team gets punished. But talking about getting punished, we do have the players of Skylight Gaming, Demon, in front of us, and it seems like him along with his teammates, they have been caught off guard.
Yep, and it's going to be the fight coming in between SG and LoG1 this time. And we do know, as I was saying, LoG1 is one of the teams that actually like to play really passive. And somewhere down the line, they are really scared when it comes to challenging those early game fights as well, because they just like to secure those positioning points. And they are just so good at overall making the circle zone guesses. And just the overall gameplay these guys shows when it comes to just taking those early game rotations in, and just the overall synergy that they have built up, just the playing passive. It's just so fantastic. And it's actually really like mind-boggling to me as well. Like wherever they go, the circle actually pans out for them.
Yeah, I mean, that is what it has to be about, right? I mean, if you can be that unpredictable that you make everyone question, all right, how is this team going to play around? But still somehow manage to be inside the circle always, that is the best thing you can do. But also, the better thing is going to be getting a nade with a grenade, ladies and gentlemen. Getting a knock with a grenade. I don't know why I just said that, but Joker actually managed to do that. One of the players from the side of LoG1 has been taken down, and Demon is actually keeping his teammate away from him. So getting the revive is actually going to be really tricky right now. And look at this. Oh, he goes from the back lines, and Shari actually catches him off guard. That was just a bait. That was a trap that was laid out by the players of Skylight Gaming. And they are planning to finish off the players of LoG1 one after the other. I don't think they're going to be moving in the circle at this point.
Yep, unfortunate turn of events for Rolex there from LoG1, just the overall way he just got capitalized by them. It was just so unfortunate. And now it just seems like Joker is going to be bullying this man. Unfortunate for what there. I don't really feel like you should bully him. Just end his misery, please. And yes, that is going to be happening. And just overall, he was just trying to have a friendly conversation, but then he realized, oh, that man is knocked. He cannot talk anymore. And now things have came down only to the last man of LoG1 is going to be blank. Now, okay, again, as I'm saying, what Blank can exactly do is just make those guesses for the early game rotations in and try to get the rotation as fast as you can and just stay unpredictable. Then maybe there's a chance that you might be able to secure those top maybe 8 or 5 spots for your team. It's not much to ask, and as I was saying, LoG1 don't really like to challenge fights, so I'm not really expecting some high intense action from this team as well.
I mean, I agree with you on that. That is going to be the best case scenario for Blank as well, securing like whatever points he can moving forward. But I mean, it's going to be really hard as well because look at this. He's like 200 meters away from the circle right now, and the circle still being on the eastern side of the map. There are a lot of teams that we did see on the map as well. There is a high chance that he's going to be caught off guard before he actually gets inside of the top 10. So we're going to see how the game progresses for that one individual player. But moving over to the other side, ladies and gentlemen, right now we are on the way towards Nova Repnoi, where the players of Futurestation are actually present.
Yep, and it doesn't really seem like there's going to be more action. As I was saying, there's only 2 players on this island on this side. And as you mentioned in the past as well, there's going to be a gamble coming in. Are you going to be staying on this side of the island or that side of the island? Of course, if the circle is going to be panning out in the military base island, then kills are just going to be flowing through as each and every single team would try to make the rotation from the waterways or either those bridgeways, and we all know how exposed bridge can be and even those waterways sometimes, and surely you can take the cover inside the water, but for how long? Our man is going to be running out of breath, and certainly his HP will be deducting by 5 each and every single time. So the waterways is certainly harmful, but at the same time, you can take those chances as well. But the bridgeways, I really feel like bridgeways is more like attractive, where it just attracts each and everyone's attention to just spam your vehicles down or just overall take your team down easily.
Yeah, and it is quite interesting. I mean, the strategies, the way they break out, I mean, sort of you have to be adaptable to how the game is going to progress. And I mean, that is one thing that is going to be really interesting, but let's move forward. Again, blank on our screens from LoG1 Esports. So good thing for him is going to be the fact that he has managed to bring himself inside the circle right now. Has a little bit of cover moving forward as well. And I think the best case scenario for him is going to be the fact if the circle actually moves towards his direction and he does not have to move that much. Because whenever you're moving inside of the game, it's going to be quite a risky situation. Moving objects are, they attract a lot more attention. And well, I mean, if in this matchup, you never want anyone's attention to be on you. You want to be stealthy, you want to be hidden, and you want to survive for as long as you can. But Futurestation, did I just see them move towards the direction of the players of Magnus Esports? I mean, Weekend, he's quite close to the bridge, so he can relay a lot of information to his team. But if Weekend gets caught off guard, he's going to be finished off. This is going to be absolutely brutal on him.
Yep, and it doesn't really seem like Futurestation are going to be challenging any fight so early on, which actually does make sense. If you're going to be getting those early casualties going on inside this game, then yeah, your team is going to be at a massive disadvantage because, of course, the situation might be 2v4 or either like 3v4 overall. So even any of these early game disadvantages, you don't really want them to actually pan your team's favor out. But now, overall, we did see how Futurestation played last time as well. Just the overall beautiful performance these guys delivered. But now, are they going to be able to keep the same performance again, though?
Yeah, I mean, that is going to be a really big question. And I mean, it is going to be quite interesting. And I think the same can be said for the players of Magnus as well, because even in the last game, even they did not have a really good time. I mean, they did get 2 kills, but they were also taken out earlier on in the matchup. So this time, even they're going to be looking to perform and secure a few more points, because performing away, I mean, the prize money is also going to be there, but it is about practice, ladies and gentlemen. If you are not performing, is that even real practice? You have to try and get the best output of the strategies that you're putting to display. On the other side, now we have the players of High Voltage in front of us. I've seen these lad in action, and these guys are absolutely insane. But the thing is, this team, these players, they actually take their sweet time getting into the zone.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that is what I think we're going to be waiting for. But on the other side, DRS taking a fight against the players of INS, and well, the trades are happening back and forth as DRS, they have 2 knocked out from their opponent's side, and one of their own teammates was taken down. Nima, as he was quite exposed, was taken down. But now, are they going to commit to the fight? That is going to be a really big question, because I mean, both these teams are quite exposed. DRS, they just have this one house and just 2 players right here. And on the other side, INS completely out in the open, but with all 4 players.
I mean, for now, it doesn't really seem like INES is actually interested in challenging the fight completely, as they are trying their best just to get those resin on their teams as well. But just take a look at Mafia Ninja from the backline. Is chipping a little bit of damage, but certainly does suppressive fire that we talk about is coming in from him as well, just to give a little bit of room, a little bit of breathing edge for his teammates, just to get those resin and even those first aid and just medkit pop off as well. And now it does seem like DRS are in an overall real good spot inside this fight. They do have really good angles going in, and they have INES completely contested from all over the sides as well. And yes, this is exactly what I'm saying. And it's going to be Mafia Ninja finding the first kill on the INES Newty there. And this is what exactly I was saying. From the back lines, creating so much problems for their team as well. Now, Kajar going to be firing a little bit of shots and does manage to catch one guy off guard though, but certainly the nades are coming in through. The nade is not going to be connecting to anyone. And yes, Newty again going down with that nade. Unfortunate for him, as he was just rezzed and he just went down as he was just down to such low HP.
Well, Gyalzen is really precise with his utility uses, but INES, are they going to be able to survive this onslaught coming in from the side of DRS? That is going to become a really big question. I mean, both the teams are some of the premier lineups representing their regions. And look at this. Look at the formation from the players of DRS Gaming. They have surrounded INES from every single direction. They have forced them to fight in multiple directions in the same time. It's Newt and Clutch trying to stop Gyalzen from closing in, but are they going to do that? I don't think so, because he's already up pretty close. And the knock is going to come in as Gyalzen is going to be taken down, but Nima from the backlines actually managed to take a trade on Clutch. Newt is going to be dropped down as well. That means INES with just 1 player surviving, and it's going to be Gajor on the southern side of our screens. He's actually out of our display right now. Now we do see him. AJ, he's going to go for the charge in. Well, before he does, he's going to actually pretty much secure the kills on the other lads from the side of INES. Nima is going to be there watching out for Gajor as well. And here comes the blue zone, but just the second blue zone, so not enough damage is going to be there. These guys can just run their boosters and their bandages and pretty much be really healthy to secure their fights. But INES on the verge of being extinct. Just 1 lad surviving. Is he going to even be able to get 1 kill? That is going to be a really big question. Oh,
just the overall positioning. Yeah. Just the overall positioning coming in from DRS in this entire fight was just so good. And it seems like, yep, Gachar is going to get spotted by AJ. And a beautiful M4 spray coming in just to completely take him down. And now that's the entire existence wiped out of INES this time. Taking an exit on the first place. And now taking a look at the kill feed, it does seem like TF ESP actually did manage to take 1 guy down. And of course, the man is, his other teammate is going to be finishing it off as well. Now we are seeing some fights being broken down as INES, one of the big names, going down early this time. That's going to be such a massive casualty.
Well, it is definitely going to be a pretty big upset for the lads, but like look at this, TUF, they have the high ground up against the players of NFP. Oh! Whoa! The entire team was shooting up, and that was brutal. That was absolutely brutal to watch, but King and the lads, they're going to be able to secure the kill quite easily. I mean, it was just 1 player, 1 versus 4 situation, and I disagree with that. I mean, you should not waste your utility just to secure that 1 kill. You know you have the knock, might as well just secure the easy finish, save the utility for later. But, I mean, Deadeyes Guys taking the fight against F4. All right, Shifu Sir, he has been taken down. Illusion Sir, he's going to try and go for a revive right now.
Yep, that's going to be happening. The smokes are coming through just to build a pathway for him to make his way near his teammates, and certainly that is going to be happening. While F4 in the backline does realize that smokes are coming in through, and yep, their finish is also coming in through. It's going to be Kuni completely finishing that man out. But now, for now, overall, if we take a look at Deadeyes, they are in a really unfortunate spot. And yes, exactly, this is what Illusion Sir does capitalize on, and now he's going to be making his way towards his teammates. The suppressing shots are coming in through, but certainly not really able to connect any of those shots onto them. And now it does seem like Illusion Sir is in a real good spot where he can actually take a massive breather and just overall think how he can pan things out in his team's favor as well. But now it does seem like Illusion is also getting capitalized from his left lines, while there is another squad in his left side. If he does expose his body a little bit more, he might get capitalized by two squads at the same time, and that might be putting his team in a real uncomfortable spot. As we were saying, as we were talking about, it's going to be high voltage from the backlines, and we all do know how annoying it gets sometimes from teams that is going to be the backlines. Just take a look at the cover fire. This is exactly what I was saying when it comes to those team synergy plays, and this is exactly what Illusion Sir put a massive display in front of our eyes as it comes to a really coordinated gameplay down here.
Well, definitely, and I agree with you. That was really precise coordination from the players of Deadeyes Guys. F4 Khan taking so much damage, just trying to take the shots on Illusion Sir, but as you said, the suppressing fire was there, and Deadeyes Guys, they managed to survive to take a fight, well, a few minutes later. But they have to worry about the fact that, as you said, there's a team towards the left as well, and as these lads are looking to fall back as well, they're going to have to worry about the teams that are going to be on the other side of the ridges as well. So it's a really tricky situation that they find themselves in. But since they are inside the circle right now, all they have to do is be patient and see where the game progresses next. Because if the circle actually keeps forming on them, then they might not have to move at all.
Exactly what you pointed out, Johnny, and I really feel like F4 is getting real impatient in those fights. And now what Deadeyes can actually make is that they can make F4 and High Voltage fight against each other, and they can be the third party over there. And that might be a real good master plan coming in from these lads as well, if they actually do manage to execute that down. But now overall, taking a look at R3G Esports, one of the teams that isn't really able to show their presence in, and also, as I'm saying, heavy fire coming in from Futurestation as well. They are going to be doing so much damage onto N3 boy there, but certainly he is going to be stepping down in the back lines this time, and is going to be taking a little bit of breather, going to be healing himself just to make sure he's getting in the comfortable spot to give an answer back to them. But now it does seem like 9 boy was in a real uncomfortable spot. It doesn't really seem like A1 do want to challenge the fight over here. But now take a look at the rotation. The call has been made from the IGL to make the rotation inside the circle, but where are they going to be finding their boot camp? That's going to be a massive question that we are going to be asking for ourselves. And of course, they might get capitalized by Carnage if they keep on moving in the straight line. And yes, they are going to be finding a little bit of ridge for themselves where they can actually stay behind and hide. But now it does seem like a massive fight is breaking it through. It's going to be between SG and Carnage. And of course, the players of SG from the backlines are getting capitalized from Sinister, and he's just making so many things happen. And yes, Sinister also taking so much cover fire from SG in the backline as well. Praveen also has his eyes on MGS and even SG. But now, Praveen does know that the situation over here is getting out of hand a little bit, and the fight is breaking it through. The first knock has been made, and of course it's going to be Snipe taking the things in his hand, and of course Carnage has a little bit of upper edge inside the fight, and yep, this is exactly what I'm talking about. SG getting eliminated early this time by Carnage, and this is exactly what I was saying. This is what we wanted to say. This is what Carnage was lacking in the previous game, and certainly this time they have woken up.
Well, Carnage, they better not turn down the Carnage from their side right about now, because R3 Esports, they were closing in from the back lines. One fight might be over, but the other one is coming up next. Talking about other things, I mean, high voltage, we do see them on our screens right now. Ozzy is going to try and go for the revive on his teammate Extreme, but they need to be careful because they have to worry about two things. They're looking forward to move inside the circle right now. Look at this. So, Jiggle, he's going to take on the players of R3 Esports, hiding in that sniper house right there, and the nade comes in, and it was his own grenade actually that knocks him out. Carnage, they're going to be in some trouble as the random fire shots from the side of R3 Esports might just finish him out, but no! What was that? Shoykot is going to be taken down. Sinister goes up to the first floor, but he's going to take a bit of utility on him as well. The knock does come in from 6-9. Another one. Carnage looks like they're going to be in some trouble. R3 Esports, they need to make sure that they go in right now. They have an advantage that they have created for themselves. They wait a few more minutes, and Carnage, they're going to be back to a 4-man squad, and well, they never stop. So they're just going to charge in and try and take on the players of R3 Esports.
And yep, that's going to be happening. Another player from A1 is going to be coming in through to just back his teammates up. And yes, another knock coming in from Carnage. They are going to be taking down Sinister this time. Sinister getting punished for his over-aggression. And just the overall aggression that A1 showed over here, it was more kind of like a desperation push coming from these lads. They did realize that this is a real good chance to actually do the third party on Carnage. But certainly, I really feel like it was too late when it comes to just overall executing this plan and just overall make those strategies coming through. But for now, I'm going to hold on to my word as we see STALWARTxFLEX taking down a little bit of shots onto their enemy teams from the front lines, but also in the back lines, there's going to be high voltage making the rotation inside the circle. But now they do really need to realize, taking a look at the minimap, there are so many teams in the nearby vicinity. There are 3 more teams next to SE. They do have so many neighbors going in as well, but just take a look at the aggression coming in from A1 this time. Going to be taking down Jiggle and Snipe. Now it's all down to Praveen in the top floor. How is Praveen going to panic things out? Of course, just take a look at those nades doing so much damage to Praveen. Praveen is not really able to do much. How will he be holding things off? Of course, the first that is coming through, he is going to be healing himself back up to full HP. But how is he going to be padding things out? Of course, the aggression is coming through, going to be catching a little bit, but now that's going to be a denial coming in from the enemy team, and they are going to be completely wiping the existence out of Carnage.
Well, Carnage, they're going to be taken down. Quite unfortunate because they were in a position from where they could have taken a fight. But no, Stalwart caught completely unaware by the players coming in from the rear. One player, Crypto, is going to be taken down. They were totally... This is why I say tunnel vision is going to be the worst thing that teams can actually put themselves in. You get totally focused on the players of high voltage, and you forget about the players of DRS, and DRS actually capitalize on that. Look at that. DRS, they are moving forward, and STALWARTxFLEX, they are down to just one player. One individual surviving from the squad. Now he has to worry about moving in the circle. He has to worry about 2 teams, one in the front, one in the rear. And I don't think he's going to survive for long. He moves the buggy towards the players of DRS. Spots out one. Is going to be able to get a knock. And he actually does get a knock. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing I really want to point out over here is that any fight that DRS is taking, just they are completely winning the fight on their positioning. Now, just overall, the way the position, the overall way the flankers find their path through, and just overall, they completely capitalize on their enemy team. It's just so fascinating and just so iconic to watch. I might note down some tips as well, but after watching these teams, how they're playing. But now, just take a look at Blank over here, a solo man on his mission, and might get caught off guard. But for now, I'm going to hold on to my words as we take a look at Zayden just popping out so many heads in the process. Now it does seem like he's going to be making the rotation back to his teammates and does realize that DRS AJ is knocked right in front of him. Now he does realize if he is going to be exposing his body too much, that might be putting himself in a real bad situation. But now it's all down to that last man standing from DRS. But how is he going to be panicking things out? It's going to be Galson. But now there are so many fights erupting in front of us. As the circle is going to be shrinking down to add to his minors, the fights are going to be erupting as Extreme is going to be taking down Sinister. And of course, there are just so many fights happening in the nearby vicinity.
Well, definitely the fights are breaking out, and that means a lot of noise is going to be made. You better not get distracted. Focus on your winning strategy. But what is that going to be? We're going to find out. The players of F4 looks like they're moving towards the path of success again. Look at this, 5 kills secured again inside the top 7. So they're doing pretty well for themselves. But right now towards the western edge of the circle, so not a comfortable position for them because now you have to take care of the teams that are on the farther side, on the other side of the ridges, and that can actually be quite tricky.
Yep, that can be tricky as we talk about things getting tricky. The fights are also getting tricky. There are just so many teams just erupting the fights between each other, and there are some solo men on a mission trying to keep their teammates alive just to at least secure that top 3 position as well. Yes, he has made it in top 5, but for now, it seems like Futurestation are going to be spotting one of the players on their right lines, and certainly it's going to be F4 this time. Just overall placement points the F4 is gathering over here. It's just so incredible. Just overall capitalization coming in from the IGL, just overall rotation calls being made from them. It's just so fascinating and just so beautiful to witness.
Well, it is actually pretty beautiful, as you mentioned, and I think things are going to get even more pretty. We're going to witness these artists trying to paint us a picture of that beautiful, beautiful chicken dinner that they're trying to secure for themselves. But for now, Futurestation, they're moving forward. Cooney, look at this. So CZ's Cooney, high voltage's Cooney is actually in a pretty bad position right now. He's stuck on the edge. The biggest challenge for him is going to be moving in, and the players of Futurestation are going to be the ones stopping in. But 1952 entry entry in front of us, the players of R3D. He's trying to deal with them. The utility is being thrown and he knows exactly where they are. But it is going to be a challenge because one individual trying to stop 3 players in the backlines while the other 2 players are focused on the players of F4. One Shot's only goal right here is to provide as much support as he can to entry. He's not going to be the aggressor. He's going to be this player who stops the flank. And in case entry goes down, then the trade is going to come in. So the pressure is on this one individual entry. Is he going to be able to deal with that? I mean, it's going to be really, really impressive if he actually does.
And yep, as we take a look at this nades coming in through, just the overall accuracy of the nades as we feel focus on those, they're just so close to each other. But now, seems like another fight might be breaking down. It's between 1952 and F4 as well. I feel like 1952 is in a little pickle, but now seems like R3D Virus is going to be capitalizing on one of the players of 1952. Certainly it's going to be one shot going down early off this time. And now, the other players of 1952 are going to be finding a little bit of trade onto Virus, but there is going to be Deadgar from the back lines, and he doesn't really seem like he wants to give his frag away that easily, so he's just going to be staying inside the bush and waiting for his teammates to crawl on him so he can just get that res in. And certainly it seems like now the things are really chill, as we like to say, the calm before the storm, and this is what exactly is going to be soon. And as you said, the artists are going to be painting a picture, but now I really feel like the artists are going to be digging graves for each other's.
Well, digging graves is also an art if you think about it, but I mean, it is something that you would like to do for your opponents, not for yourselves. And as you said, this time it looks like they're going to be doing that for themselves. If they do that, they can pretty much try and pull themselves out of it as well. But I think 1952 is sharp, since the players of F4 are charging in on him as well. He's not going to be able to survive for long. You have R3D in the backlines, you have F4 in the front. It's going to be a really, really troublesome situation. But no! Oh, it works out! F4 and R3D, they actually end up taking a fight between them. And that is the opportunity that 1952 needed to survive. Oh my lord, the luck actually plays a big part in this fight.
But I really feel like Magnet is moving really inside a really open crowd over here. Magnet might get spotted anytime if he just keeps on moving in the straight line. It doesn't really seem like Magnet is going to be stopping anytime soon, so he's just going to be making his path clear for himself. Of course, the nades are coming through. Doesn't really know the exact position of F4 players, but it seemed like Zayden might be spotting Magnet if he just keeps on throwing those utilities. And we have seen that previous chicken dinner was caused for Blood Legions because Leo actually threw the smoke, and that smoke actually gave his position away. But now certainly 1952 over here have to realize the same situation as well for themselves. They should not be throwing nades in the open grounds, and it does seem like Badref is going to be spotting Khan on the hilltop, but not really able to connect any of the shots. The utilities might be going through, and Badref certainly should realize that utility might not connect, and yeah, it might be a little bit harder for him to actually aim it down, but seems like Waldrix might be going down to that, and no, going to be taking 50% of the damage from that nade, but certainly not really able to do much, though. Badref is going to be exposing himself as we keep on talking. Waldrix from the backline getting capitalized from Magnets.
Well, Magnet's still in the backlines, and he can actually put up a lot of pressure, or at least try and pick up some kills. But no, look at this. Futurestation, they want this one really badly. Zayd, and he goes for the charge in on towards Badref. Badref, is he going to be able to deal with the aggression? And yes, he does. Futurestation, they take down the players of Team F4. It's 2 versus 4 situation. 1952, they bring themselves up in the top 2, ladies and gentlemen. And R3D is out, F4 is out. It's just them against the players of Futurestation. 4 versus 2 situation. Machine and Kapshi from one side. I mean, he joins Badref, Kapshi and Machine from the right. And then we have one more player towards the left. Futurestation, they're wrapping the players of 1952 in a chokehold at this point. Magnus is down to 50% HP. The nades are continuously coming in. Sharp is down to 50%, but Magnet takes down Kapshi. He's really, really low. This nade is going to do the job from Machine. Magnet goes down. Badref, he's going for the charge in. 3 versus 1 are the numbers. Sharp is going to be spotted out and finished off as Futurestation. They secure the second chicken dinner of, well, of today's matches.
And yep, just the overall barrage coming in from Futurestation. I really feel like they just called an airstrike onto them.
Yeah.
How many nades did these lads have secured for those end circle? They were just not running out of them. They were just throwing one after another. And just the overall artillery barrage coming from these lads did actually manage to secure and take down 1952 players to just to overall half HP. And then just the things were just so easy for them to just overall chip some damage off just to take these players down. But a beautiful execution plan coming from Futurestation managed to secure all of their players players. 4 players alive in those top 2 situations is just such an absolute beauty. Just overall, they executed the strategies out was just so fantastic. And also, props given to 1952 as well. Just overall, I feel like Magnet played from the backlines. He completely decimated the team of F4. Or if Magnet wasn't there, I really feel like F4 might have been the one to completely dominate the entire field.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, Magnet and Sharp, they played that to perfection. Just being patient enough to let the players of F4 fall into line, take on the players of R3D first, and then manipulating them to move and take on the fight, take on an unfavoring fight for them against the players of Futurestation. So patience was the key to the success of the players, or in fact, the finish of the players of 1952. But I mean, kudos to the players of FS. Look at that, especially Badrev. The team in total has 11 kills. Badrev alone getting 7 kills for his team. And surprise, surprise, ladies and gentlemen, F4, they are being consistent again inside of the top 3 with 9 kills to their name. So that is definitely going to put them in a really good position as far as the overall standings are concerned. But we're going to have a look at that in a little while. But for now, I mean, this was a really, really interesting game. Starting things off, I mean, no one expected the fight of INES to actually go the way that it did. And then, if you remember, I mean, the fight with the players of Carnage, the way they were actually taken down by the players of A1 Esports right after they actually took down one other team. So that was a bit of a surprise as well, because usually once you actually get a squad wipe, you, as you did mention it yourself, you get a confidence boost, and then if a fight falls and you actually tend to go in super aggressive. But Carnage, the thing that actually did not work out for them was the passiveness that they had, the fact that they just held on after the fact that they actually did get 2 knocks from A1 Esports was the reason why they lost.
Yeah, that exactly beautifully pointed out by you, Johnny, there. They should have actually capitalized on their enemy position as well and just overall completely punished them for the over-aggression. As I even mentioned in the back time as well in the past, that was a real desperation attack coming in from those lines. They did realize that, okay, Carnage have just finished one fight. They might be injured a little bit, so this might be our moment to strike. But it was actually too late. A1 Esports didn't actually completely pan the situations out in their favor as they planned, because Carnage was already wrapped up with the files. They were fight. They were completely back up to full HP as well. So Carnage was looking absolutely good, and Carnage did capitalize on the A1 for a while there, but Carnage just decided to hold back for a while.
Yeah, so you have to go in once an opening is made from your side. I think that is one thing that the teams are going to try and work out as we move forward with our matches. But I mean, moving forward, this is going to be absolutely interesting now, because the next match, the next Erangel, is going to be from the teams from Group A and C going up against each other. That means we're one more team. I mean, that I would like to point out, it's going to be STALWARTxFLEX. So that was an interesting situation, because one moment you see the entire team, and the next everyone is picked off, but you don't know exactly where. The players were sort of split apart from each other, and I think plus the final circles in the last 2 games, since they were moving out in the open, so that was also one thing that that did not work out in their favor. But moving forward, maybe the next game things might just get a little better, and since we have had 2 open circles, hopefully the next one is going to be in some urban area, or maybe Georgia Pole containers, I don't know.
And no matter what, we always know there is always a chance to never give up. But overall, I really want to focus on how DRS was actually putting their fights in. Just overall positioning coming in from these lads, no matter what kind of fight it was, they had 2 players in the backlines all the time. They were taking those vehicles, completely rotating from the backlines. Now, the team was completely sandwiched between those 2 players in the front lines and 2 players in the backlines. Now, all they could do was just completely distract their attention on all across the side, or they can completely challenge on one side, or just tunnel vision on the one side, of which also is going to be putting your team in a little bit of uncomfortable situation. And now, if you're going to be putting yourself in the player's shoes, we all do know what kind of pressure might be building up on you mentally. So taking all these factors under consideration, and just the overall gameplay that DRS showed was just absolutely beautiful.
I agree with that. I mean, that was an impressive fight from them. I mean, considering, as we were talking about it during the game as well, I mean, the 2 players from the side of DRS, they were stuck in that one shack. The teammates were on the other sides. And from there on, I mean, INES could have actually easily backed off, disengaged from the entire situation, and then moved on to the other side of the game. I mean, they could have actually moved further into the matchup. We could have seen them finish in the top 5, in the top 4, and maybe who knows how high they would have gone. But DRS just using the fact that the players that their own teammates weren't with them to their advantage, that was like a 200 IQ moment, because they got themselves in certain positions, as you mentioned, 2 players from the backlines, and then we did see Nima, and I think it was Mafia Ninja along with him that actually came in from the front, and then sandwich was made. And even after they had actually pinned them down from 2 different directions, those 2 players split up, and now it's a 4 directional pin, so you have nowhere to escape. And then we did see the hunt down being coming in from the players of
Yeah.
DRS. So really, really perfectly executed, coordinated play over there. But I mean, the point where DRS actually fails is going to be their rotations, because they always, I mean, it happened in the last game and it happened in this game as well. I don't know how, but they always manage to find themselves that one point where a team is already waiting inside on the edge of the circle, and that's how they get taken out.
And yeah, this is exactly what we're saying. Capitalizing on those edges of the circle is just one of the most fascinating thing to do. And of course, if you're going to be completely getting your grip onto that, then that might be just completely panning things out in your team's favor, because you're going to be catching a lot of teams coming off guard inside the rotation, which are going to be making those late rotation. And this is why I always keep on saying, getting those early rotation inside the circle is one of the most crucial things that you and your teammates can actually pan things out in your favor. But as well, that is not easy to do, because as the way you're thinking is going to be going, the same thing might be another team might be thinking, and they might be making the early rotation as well, and you might be clashing into each other as well, and those fight might be breaking out. But certainly you do need to realize that you have a real good chance going inside this game as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, the moment you realize it, that's going to give you a little bit more confidence, and you're going to see the possibilities that are going to be there, the steps that you will have to take to actually get the victory for yourself. But I mean, we have been rambling for a while, and I would like to know from our audience, like, what has been. I mean, Necro did mention like the DRS fight being one of the things that sort of did get a lot of our attention. For me, it is going to be just the teams being taken out in instants. I mean, high voltage being wiped out in an instant, R3D being wiped out in an instant. I like when I see teams disappear in just matter of seconds for some reason. I'm just like weird that way. But I would like to know from our audience, what moments were your favorite ones from this moment? I mean, obviously, your favorite team getting the chicken dinner is going to be the one of them. But
Yeah.
apart from that, I mean, there have been some impressive performances from a lot of these teams that we did not see during the PMCOs.
And one thing I can confidently say here, that F4 fans are certainly not disappointed
Yeah.
anytime, because they managed to secure that third position in the second game and first position in the first game. It's just overall such a consistent performance coming in from these lads.
I mean, and they have always been consistent. I mean, F4 have been taken, seen on pretty high regard in terms of PUBG Mobile scene in Pakistan. I mean, the team
Yeah.
has always had a lot of support from the fans. I mean, they have a really, really wonderful IGL in the form of Khan. I mean, one of the most decorated players in the entire region of Pakistan in terms of PUBG Mobile, and I think everyone looks up to him and how he leads his team. So that is going to be something that I think actually does work out in the favor of F4. They have gone through that is one team that goes through a lot of roster changes, but I mean, with the caliber of players
Yeah.
that they have, I mean, they sort of adapt really fast as well. And I think the scrims over here, the pro scrims, are going to be a really wonderful ground for them to actually capitalize on and try and see how far they can take the synergy. But now we do have the standings of the game, ladies and gentlemen. So 24 points coming in for Futurestation and F4. Look at this, as you said, Necro, consistency pays off. They get 19 points from this match.
Yep, exactly what I'm saying. 19 points, some big points coming in, and just overall match ranking. As we talk about, I really feel like Futurestation over here did manage to secure that chicken dinner, but at the same time, just the overall game plan, the execution, that the overall strategy execution that they showed, and just the overall brilliance of gameplay that they showed, and just the overall board they showed over here was just so good. I can't stop talking about this team, and I was always keeping an eye on this team overall, just the way these guys were making the rotation, and certainly the brilliance was coming in through from the IGL as well of that team. But now one of the early teams that going on, of course, it's gonna be Deadeyes Guys, one of the big teams going down this time as well. And I do know that this is one of the more like fan favorite teams as well. And certainly if you're going to be going down like this, then a lot of fans might be disappointed.
See, but a lot of these big teams have this thing where they come in the first game, they get taken out earlier on, and then that's their wake up call. That's basically the alarms going off. Oh, we can't take this easy. We have to try our best, and probably we're going to see this team perform in the next game. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a look at the kill leaders as well, because I mean, mean, I would love to see how things are turning out. I mean, first game we had a lad taking 6 kills for himself. The next game, this game, in fact, we have Bad Rev. Look at that, 7 kills coming in. For Bad Rev in this match, and then we have Voltrix from F4 Esports with 4, Khan from F4 with 3, and then Evil Eye with 3 kills as well. So this game was basically just Futurestation and F4.
Yep, exactly, and the dominating performance again coming in from F4 as well, as I was saying. And just overall, you were saying like some teams actually like to test their waters in the starting games, in the starting phases, and they are still testing their waters. And then in the later game phases, they do realize what kind of strategies are working out and what kind of not. And then that is when they start applying the real aid on the strategy as well. And that's when they actually start showing themselves up. And that's when the beast will be awakened as well. And now the same thing we can expect from these teams as well.
I mean, that is something that we see these teams do in major tournaments as well. They just let the first few games go by, and that is just to see, all right, so what is this team going to do? What is this team going to do? What is this team going to do? And then they go back home. So from tomorrow onwards, I mean, we're going to see a lot more aggression from these lads, and I think that is something that everyone is going to be watching out for. Today, some of the major aims, they might just be looking to get some study material on their opponents. But with the standings of this match and the kill leaders out of the way, let's have a look at the bigger picture, at the overall standings, and see where the teams are doing against themselves in terms of all the 24 teams that are present. So right now, F4, yes, 2 games, amazing performances, definitely leading the charge with 43 points.
Yep, exactly. DRS following it up on the 2nd position. Well deserved, as I was saying. Just overall, these lads were just capitalizing on the fights, and just the overall thinking process was just shown by their beautiful IGL as well. Was just so fantastic. And of course, Avon also well deserving spot. They did wipe out the complete existence of Carnage, but Carnage in the process showed a little bit of mistakes from their side as well. So Carnage is also going to be following it up on the 5th, and on the 6th, it's going to be 7C Esports. On 7, it's going to be Skylight, and on 8, it's going to be one of the big teams as well. It's going to be Blood Legions. And now I do have a little bit of expectations from Blood Legion going inside this, because I was the one who actually did cast the entire PMC of Bangladesh region as well, and I do have a little bit of more expectations going inside Blood Legions. Just the overall fascinating performance, the overall dominating performance these lads showed was just so beautiful.
Well, let's see if the teams are going to deliver on the expectations right now, because, I mean, 2 games are already over. We still have 1 more match remaining. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, I would like to know from you guys, which of these teams are you actually expecting to show up big time and put a statement in this last game? I mean, talking about the other teams, I mean, I had massive expectations from the team of Freestyle and Inertia Esports, because, I mean, and PN Crew sitting at the bottom of the standings after the match is played, but they are literally the biggest names from their regions of Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Nepal. So it's going to be super interesting to see how the teams are going to be performing. But I mean, match number 3 is going to be starting in just a matter of seconds, ladies and gentlemen. So I mean, we're just going to jump right into the action in a few short seconds. And as I say that, I mean, I do not even finish my sentence, and well, here's the game.
Exactly. This is time to buckle up, because high action intensive gameplay is going to be starting anytime soon. As we take a look at the plane fly pass, it's going to be going down from Corey Gotska all the way down to Stalber and Kamishki. Now, a pretty interesting plane fly path. Of course, a team that want to go to military base, they might be having a real long time, a real hard time to actually go over there. We did see some of the teams to go to Novorupnoy and even military base, and this is where your second-hand strat comes into play, your second plan comes into play, your second drop location comes into play as well. Of course, Zarki might be one of the locations that some of the teams might want to go, because Zarki might be one of the most safest down spots, or safest underground spots that you can actually have your team secure. And I really feel like LoG1 might be one of the teams to go there, because they don't really like to challenge those fights.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, challenging fights in the early stages is definitely not something that teams look forward to, because you never know how the RNG of the game is going to play out in your favor. You might drop out, you get good weapons, or you might drop down and you get, well, nothing, pretty much. So you never want to take that risk. You want at least 30 seconds before you take a fight. So you might find yourself some basic weapons. Even if you don't find armor, at least you have a gun to fight back. But look at that. Look at that, Necro. Look at towards the Georgopol side. So we have INES on containers, and then we have 2 teams towards the Georgopol city. That is going to be super fun to watch.
Exactly. We might see some early action inside this as well, but overall, taking a look at the circle, there are not a lot of teams in the circle. Of course, there are so many teams in the school and department areas. And as I was saying, we might see some early action going inside this as well. As we take a look, it's going to be between Deadeyes Guys and XP Blood Legions this time. And it seems like Blood Legions do have the early casualties going inside this. And even same goes on Deadeyes as well. Shufusar going down early on this time. And of course, he's going to be on top. He's going to be making his way onto his teammates just to get that res in. But our Blood Legion is going to be let that happen, though. Certainly, Blood Legion is one of the teams that is so aggressive with their initial gameplay. And just the overall raw aggression these guys show is just so good. Because the overall execution when it comes to just aggressing in, of course, it also comes down to that well-placed, precise utility usage. And even completely relying on your game sense, knowing, okay, where that guy might be inside this house. Okay, so these are some of the most common angles where a guy can hide. But now, taking a look at that heroic entry coming from the other players of Deadeyes, and it's going to be Hungry Box and it's going to be Seoxer.
Well, definitely they think that they have pinned down the players of XP Blood Legion, but the players of XP Blood Legions are here as well. The backup has arrived, and it has arrived for both the teams, and both the squads are going to be trying to find an opening. Utility is going to be absolutely important, plus no one, absolutely no one in this fight is fully loaded out. All of them are fighting with deficits. Oh! Yo, with the shotgun actually managed to take down his opponents. And, well, XP Blood Legion not off to a good start. Two players already have been picked off. One guy has been pinned out in that sniper watchtower. And, well, Shifuser is on the backlines. He's keeping an eye on him. He's just trying to see, like, he does not get his opponent. Their target does not actually get away.
And one thing I really want to note down here is just that overall, like, positioning capitalization coming from Blood Legion. Of course, they do have that little bit of high ground going inside this fight, and we all do know what kind of advantages the high ground can give you. But certainly losing out on some of the players early on might be a massive casualty coming in from them as well.
Well, definitely. And I mean, it is going to be quite an interesting situation because you did mention this, right? XP Blood Legion, they have a habit of pulling themselves out of tough spots, but this is one spot that I don't think they're going to be able to pull themselves out of. The players of DEO, all right, on top is going to be taken down. The second knock is going to... is that going to come? And no, they actually managed to finish him off. It was a 2 versus 1 situation with the individual being on just, 20 HP.
No, Leo might get capitalized with a nade on his hand. Almost did get caught off guard, but Leo getting capitalized, of course, by Deadeyes, and exactly what we expected. Now, Blood Legion's falling.
All right, so well, Deadeyes Guys in they managed to put themselves out from a really bad spot. The players are gonna heal up, they're gonna move forward, but I think this is fact that they have the kills secured for themselves. I think they're gonna be pretty happy about that, and all they need to do is find some heals before they move out of this situation. And also, I mean, find some heals, find some more bullets, armor, helmet, all the good stuff, you know, that you usually look for, ladies and gentlemen. But 5 minutes into the game, one team has already been eliminated, and it's going to be an interesting situation to see how the other teams are going to perform. We're not going to see F4 again, since, I mean, every single team is going to play 2 matches every single day, and in terms of the total matches that are going to be played throughout, it's going to be 12 per team. Whoa. TUF King stuck in the middle of nowhere. Thor is going to be taken down as well, and it is the players of God's Reborn actually have them pinned down, and King is going to be finished off. Oh, Sketch, he managed to find himself in a 1v2 situation, dishes out a lot of damage, and the parade is going to come in. He's managed to bring TUF down to one individual player. Caught from the window. Oh no, Koa through the gap. He finishes him off, and well, God's Reborn, they start things off on a really good note. They have a squad wipe, and it is going to be a wonderful scenario that the teams actually find themselves in now. 4 kills secured, and it is going to be quite an interesting thing to see how actually they move forward in this matchup. But I mean, so they are in the hospital area, and we did actually talk about this. So while we did have the plane path in front of us, we did talk about the fact that, all right, so we had 3 teams, 1 in the containers and 2 teams towards towards the towards the north, Georgia Pole City, and towards the hospital area. So this is a fight that we did actually see coming, and we did not know actually who was going to come out on top, but now we actually do. So it is God's Reborn who actually take the victory here. But I mean, it is going to be interesting to see how the next team that is going to be part of the fray actually capitalizes on, because pretty sure they heard the sound cues. If you are in the north or the Portal City, you do you do actually have a scout towards the southern side, just watching and getting information in that area. And if the scout is further south enough, well, they hear the sound cues. They're gonna inform their teammates. All right, we do have sort of scuffle breaking out over here, and now a team has been wiped out and stuff like that. But talking about stuff, we do have the players of R3G Esports in front of us, ladies and gentlemen, and did see them in match number 1. Not a performance of a lifetime, but it was just their first game in this in these South Asia Pro Scrims. So they're gonna have the opportunity to prove themselves. I mean, we still have 5 more days of normal play remaining after this day is over, and then there's 2 days of the finals. But before the finals, I mean, you do have to make sure that you perform during the normal days. And Portal East, the squad of R3G Esports, that we do see that the PS tag on the player's name, but it is still R3G Esports. And as I was saying, a pretty old team. Veteran players throughout the entire lineup, so they do actually have an opportunity. They do have basically the synergy already built up amongst themselves, but to put that on display over here, is that even going to happen? That's going to be a question.
Yep, that's going to be a massive question. And certainly some technical difficulties coming in. Apologies for that. But now, getting back inside the game, seems like the airdrop is going to be coming in through. It's going to be the AUG. But certainly not a lot of players actually do prefer. But I really feel like AUG does help you somewhere down the line in those long-distance sprays coming in as well, because yeah, of course, just overall, it has that accuracy to build up for you. But now, overall, as you were saying, Johnny, the teams, how are they going to be making those rotations inside the circle as well? That's going to be a massive factor. Now, there are some of the players which are the people who are going to be the meanies over here, and they are going to be doing those zone camping, and they're going to be doing those edge camping as well for them. But now, that's going to be a massive wall built by those players, and certainly the teams that want to break in through. It's going to be a massive question coming up for them as well. How are they going to be breaking that wall? And just overall, the visual wall coming from these guys, how are they going to be capitalizing on that?
Well, that is actually going to be a pretty big question. And I mean, the one thing that they actually can do is going to be a workaround, is going to be a wide rotation. But I mean, talking about rotations, we do see the players of High Voltage actually find themselves in a bit of a tricky situation, as they are going to be on the low ground in comparison to the players of 7Cs on top of that hill. And 7Cs, if they are looking in this direction, they might be able to spot 1 or 2 individuals from the side of High Voltage out exposed. And once you actually do that, you're not going to fire a shot instantly. You're going to wait and see where the players are going to move. You're going to wait for their teammates to get spotted. And once you have the entire picture, once you have all the 4 players in front of you, then you decide how you want to take the fight. But looking at the map, I think the players of 7Cs might be backing off, which in the bigger picture might be a smarter decision. But the players of R3G Esports actually spotted the players of TPK. The shots are already being fired, and well, I mean, both the teams are inside the circle right now, and they have 1952 rotating right next to them.
Yep, and certainly if you're going to be inside the circle, you are going to be having one of the main keys secured inside of your hand as well. But now, another key is going to be how you're going to be dealing with those tricky situations that enemy team is going to be putting its U in. And it seems like T2K is going to be taking a casualty this time. It's going to be Joker taking him down, and it's going to be Surge going down in the process. Now, Havoc also exposing his head a little bit too much, and seems like True Love is going to be capitalizing onto that, and the punishment has been made, and certainly he has been completely knocked down as well. Now, True Love does realize the intensity of the entire field over here, and does not really want to give his head away that easily as well, so he's just going to be backing off this time, and overall trying to find himself in a better and comfortable spot where his team can actually back him up.
Well, they're going to try and back him up to the best of their abilities, but talking about abilities, I think R3D are actually putting their abilities to the show as they take on the players of INES. One finish already coming in for the players. On the other side, INES, they retaliate. STALWARTxFLEX comes in, and Anubis goes down. So multiple fights breaking out all over the map, and it is going to be quite interesting to see how the teams actually move forward, because now, I mean, majority of the teams find themselves inside the circle, hardly anyone left to rotate in. And that brings us to question, since the circle is on the eastern side again, which is quite an open area. So teams situations like these are going to arise again and again, where you have not enough cover for the entire team, but the teams are still going to try and fight their way out.
Yep, exactly. Fighting your way out is going to be one of the main keys that you need to actually master. And certainly we do know all these teams that are inside this lobby, they have mastered that skill as well. But now overall, the entire fight situations that has been put in, of course, R3D might get caught off guard this time because they are just down to such low HP. As we take a look at Deadcar, he is barely surviving as the car is taking heavy amount of pressure, heavy amount of bullets are being barraged onto them as well. And now it seems like Triant is going to get completely punished by Joker for overcommitting and for over-aggression coming in from that man. And certainly Joker is going to be the teacher this time to punish him down. But now, overall situation, just take a look at the zone. There are so many teams outside the zone as well, but PN Crew seems like this time they do have one of the more comfortable spots inside the zone as well. They are going to be rotating completely inside the Yasnaya Polnaya city as well.
Yeah, but major cluster of the teams are going to be moving from the southern side, and that's going to be a troublesome situation. There's going to be absolutely chaos towards the southern farms of Yasnaya. It is absolutely open area, nothing but hay fields along the way, and then the fact that there was no one, absolutely no team in Yasnaya Polyana is going to be the fact that I think everyone is going to be surprised with. PN Crew actually managed to make their way in since they were the closest, but now the question arises, are they going to be hold off the aggression from the other lads, which is going to be quite tricky for them to actually do. But again, as I was saying, it is going to be the southern edge of the circle that we need to keep our eyes pinned on, because that is where most of the fights are going to break out. And Deadeyes Guys on our screens right now, so they already have 4 kills secured. The next team that they come up against is going to be the squad of 7Cs. Are they going to take that fight? 7C, they were trying, it looked like they were closing in from the rear, moving in the direction of the players of Deadeyes Guys, who were trying to back off.
Exactly. But now, overall, what I exactly want to say over here is that Deadeye Guys are getting contested from all over the angles as well. If they're not going to be changing the position, they might get completely capitalized on by each and every single squad. And now this time, it does seem like FS are making those crucial rotations inside the circle, and they might get caught off guard. While as the bullets are being thrown from Joker, R3D Joker certainly not really able to connect much to the bullets, though, barely able to do that suppression of fire in as well. Certainly not really going to be able to do much, though, as well. So that was just kind of wasted bullets coming in from these lads. But certainly a little bit of forcing angles, as we would like to say, that a little bit of presence coming in from R3D as well. They are just trying to tell people that, okay, this compound is contested by us. Do not dare to come and try to completely recontest it, because we might hurt you.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, they are going to try and put the hurt upon their opponents as fast as they can, because time is also going to be key. You need to make sure you finish the fights as soon as they start and then move forward, because as I did mention, the fights are going to be out in the open, and you can't fight for a really long time stuck in those open situations, because the longer the fight goes, the more noise you are going to make, and the more attention you're going to grab towards your direction. You never want that to happen.
Yep, exactly. You never want that to happen. But for now, taking a look at Killer YC, of course, one of the main additions coming inside PN this time. And certainly PN really isn't able to show up to their gameplay this time, because maybe, as we were saying, they're trying to adjust, they're testing their water inside the scrims. And Killer YC, of course, being one of the most recent additions, that is going to be panning a little bit of unfortunate things out in their favor as well, as they would need to adjust to overall aggression of Killer YC as well. Because overall, if I take a look at how Killer YC used to play from Team Cops as well back in the time, he was one of the most aggressive players. He didn't care about anyone. He just completely went in, and it was like either he would be taken down or he would just come out on top with an entire squad wipe. That's what of a man this is. But now certainly this time, Killer YT, it does seem like he's actually pacing his gameplay down a bit. Now, certainly that is why, because he wants to match his skill levels up to PN as well. PN is one of the teams that also does show that aggression, but at the same time, they are one of the teams that does respect the positioning points as well, and does respect the zone as well. So overall, PN Crew is one of the more kind of like passive-aggressive style players.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, you can call it passive aggressive, or it's just, I like to see it in the way of calculated aggression. That is one team, they are not aggressive in stances where we would see most of the teams go aggressive. I mean, if it is a fight that they have 50-50 in, they're not going to take it. They never take those 50-50s. They need at least a 75% chance of a victory for them to actually commit to the situation. Otherwise, P and crew, they just back off. But talking about situations and chances of victories, I don't think 7C they have any in this one, as Torter is going to be finished off along with his teammates. The nades are flying in that direction. Look at this, an artillery strike being called upon the players of 7Cs. Two players already finished off. Now it's just Rig and True Love who are surviving. Venom Legends, the 4-man roster just being brought together, and well, 7Cs, they're going to be sent down to the bottom of the sea in a matter of seconds.
Exactly, it's the Venom Legend we want to see. Just take a look at the utility usage coming in from these lads. The overall nades being used. Barrage down as well. Steel Shot taking so much damage in the process. True Love, also one of the men who has the accuracy when it comes to using those M4 sprays as well. Venom Legends, there's just so many shots being exchanged in the process. Now True Love does realize that he needs to heal. The nades and the Molotovs are coming through, but as we talk, they are certainly going to be running out of the utilities as well. Now Fry Pan in a real uncomfortable spot, as True Love is going to be capitalizing on that. Rig in the backlines is trying to keep his teammates safe as well, but now the nades and the Molotovs, as I'm saying, they are going to be barraging it through. Venom Legends are putting themselves in a real uncomfortable spot. If they are going to be aggressing onto them like this, they are going to get completely capitalized on, but certainly now it's now the situation is down to thin down to 1-on-1 over here. It's going to be between Nightwing, or it's thin down to 2-on-1 over here. Now Rick does realize that he needs to get the res onto his teammate, which is going to be True Love, and certainly the res might be coming through as we take a look at Steel Shot as well, going to be making his way to teammates. Of course, the smoke is going to be providing that little bit of wall, a little bit of edge as a cover, so the res might be coming through, and they might get their man advantage going back in again.
Yeah, that might just happen, but in the while, the players of Venom Legends actually revived their own teammates. 7C, the squad was back to the 2-man strength. Ruffat is going to be taking down Steel Shot, Nightwing, and Frypan. They're going to try and take this 3v2 situation in their favor, but Rig and True Love, are they going to be able to capitalize on the fact that Venom Legends, they delayed the opportunity that was given to them? Because the time where True Love was knocked out, Rig was in a 1v2 situation. You know the dip. You know where the players are knocked out. One nade, you could have gotten a knock, and well, Rig actually gets another knock. Steel Shot is going to be taken down. Another nade coming in. The HP bars are going to be taken out. Frypan trades his teammates out. Rig is going to be taken down. True Love again in a 1v2 situation. Nightwing and Frypan against True Love. They know his location. The shots are going to come in. Location being revealed. Hiding behind a rock. Goes for a revive again, but is this going to be a smart decision from him? As the players of Venom Legends, they're going to try and close the distance. And what are they doing? They're backing off again. What
exactly,
is this fight?
This fight is going on since such a long time. Like, they are just getting those knockdowns in, and they're certainly backing off again. This is such a confusing choices coming in from these lads as well, because they are using so many utilities, and certainly burning out on utilities in those early games position is not going to be panning things out in their situation. And yes, finally, Venom Legends completely taking down the team of 7C. Finally, this time, the fight has been put to an end.
Well, third time's the charms, you know what? And I guess that's pretty much true, because there were 3 opportunities for Venom Legends where they could have actually finished off the players of 7Cs.
Yeah, certainly that could have been happening, but for now it seems like Venom Legends are going to be making that crucial call to make that rotation into that circle, and some suppressive shots might be taken onto them, but it doesn't really seem like there is going to be that massive amount of damage being dealt onto them. But just take a look at the map over here. There are just so many teams that are trying their best to rotate inside. It seems like Venom Legends are getting caught off guard by, it's going to be STALWARTxFLEX this time. Crypto's not going to be backing off anytime soon, and yes, it's going to be a massive squad wipe coming in on Venom Legends. And now it does seem like Crypto has had enough. He is just completely being a monster, being a demon, unleashing hell onto his enemies.
Well, definitely. And I mean, look at this. If your rotations are going to be delayed, if you're going to be stuck out in the open, you're going to get punished super hard. And that is what STALWARTxFLEX are showcasing us. Tony is going to be pinned down behind that haystack. The shots are going to come in, take that buggy out of use, and, well, basically put it out of commission. Aussie, he's going to take a nade to the face. Is this going to land? The distance actually is a little bit too much, so I don't think that's going to dish out a lot of damage. Aussie's still going to be able to survive. But now Stalwart, they turn their attention towards the players of INES, who just finished the fight against the players of Portal. So Not a situation INES want themselves to be in, but one they find themselves in.
Yep, exactly. And Clutch always one of the bats who actually left to clutch the situation out from INES. Even in the regional finals, we did see this man in the PMCO regional finals. He's also one of these team players when it comes down to. He's like one of the players that stays in the backline, but at the same time, he does put in so much work for his team as well. But for now, I'm gonna hold on to my words as we take a look at HungryBox just completely unleashing hell onto players of T2K. And of course, one man is gonna get knocked down, but the res is coming through at the same time. But now it does seem like two members of T2K are trying their best to close distance down, and certainly they should not get spotted in the process. But now it does seem like Rayton and Jane have closed their distance down so much onto Deadeyes.
Well, this man, Jane, I remember the times when we used to call him G.I. Jane. So, I mean, the level of gunplay he brings to the table, it is impressive. Certainly a man who can pull his team out of 1v2 or 1v3 situation. But this time, is he going to be able to take the fight against the players of Deadeyes? Because they look really, really incredible the way they are performing right now. But look at this, STALWARTxFLEX Johnny, who actually managed to take out the players that they were gatekeeping from coming in into the circle. And well, now they have control of all those houses over there. They have so much cover available for them to play around with. But same can't be said for the players of T2K, who are actually taking a really aggressive fight against the players of Deadeyes. And well, Raytitzer goes in, gets a finish. They have managed to get 2 knocks. It's a 2v2 situation right now. It is up to HungryBox and Sugoi, who are trying to out, but HungryBox is going to be taken down as well. Where are the players of Deadeyes being taken down from? And well, ladies and gentlemen, the answer to that is going to be STALWARTxFLEX.
Of course, the backline pressure is going to be applied onto Deadeyes. This time, HungryBox is going to be so disappointed at the overall placement or the position that he has been shown to us as well. But now it seems like Seoxer is going to be the last man standing, and he's trying his best to not give any kind of position away to his enemies as well. Now he's going to be throwing those smokes just to provide him extra bit of cover as well. But now it does seem like Sarge does know the exact position of Seog as well, so he is just going to be roaming outside the houses as we take a look at Seog this time, going to be repositioning himself into a complete new position, and Sarge doesn't really want to aggress it inside the smoke, and we all do know sometimes just aggressing inside the smoke might not plan things out because you just don't know where the enemy might be, and it just might be keeping on guessing. And yes, exactly, this is going to be happening, and of course it's going to be Raytitzer this time, going to be taking down the last man standing of the enemy team, and it's going to be Suyo going down to the process. But for now, it's the trifecta of deaths, last 3 teams alive, and it does seem like STALWARTxFLEX are off to a real great flying off start inside the top 3 situation. P and crew are out in the open. Sandesh getting spotted by STALWART, but are they going to be able to get the knockdown in though? Of course, that is going to be happening. Sandesh going down, and Crypto is one of the men that is just putting in so much of accuracy play from the backlines.
They have 14 kills already. STALWARTxFLEX taking this game to a totally different level. And as you said, they are having an amazing time. They have a really good position inside the circle. They have the southern edge. The teams that they have to take on are in the north of them. So they just have to fight in one direction, and the fact that they have all 4 players alive towards the end in the top 3, I think that is the position that the team was waiting for, and that is what they wanted. But no, this could be bad, and it is. Blah, blah, blah. Spots out Crypto trying to jump down from the rooftop and picks him off. The knock is going to come in, but since his teammates are going to be present right next to him, and the revive is going to happen as well. But Necro, this is going to be so crucial for STALWART. They don't have much time left. They have 28 seconds before they have to move inside the circle, and well, the circle is out in the open.
Yes, certainly. I do believe in STALWART, though, because they do have a player like Johnny, which is going to be on their backlines as well. He is going to be providing the essential cover fire, essential suppressing fire, just to bring his team a little bit of breathing space, just to make sure his teammates are getting safe inside the cover as well, because they do have the circle edge going inside this. And now it does seem like P and crew over here, somewhere down the line, I really feel like P and crew is really screwed, because they do have one of the team players, which is going to be T2K, on their right lines, and they're only thinned down to that one last man surviving for them as well. But now, how is the last man from P and crew? Of course, it's going to be the Ayush. Ayush going to be standing on his feet this time, and we do know what Ayush is capable of doing. It seems like he's just going to go a full psycho mode, and of course he's going to be making that rotation, and it's just going to be completely melted off like a butter. It's going to be T2K completely taking him down as well. Now it seems like Flex UZM is going to be closing his distance out on T2K this time, and it does seem like T2K are out in real open field. Now, UZM is going to be spotting Sarge, and of course, a beautiful spray coming from this man is going to be completely finishing him down. Sarge, early, unfortunate casualty coming in. Just take a look at what a beautiful reflex flick coming in from Johnny, completely obliterating the existence out of blah, blah, blah this time. But Jane from the backline does know that there is someone right in front of him. He's just going to be putting on some blind fire, some cover fire coming in, and just that buggy is going to be blasting off, and that's going to be an unfortunate turn of events for StarWart this round. But we do know what Crypto is capable of. He is still alive in the backline. He's going to be backing off, going to be proning off, and still just wants to get on a real good overview of the entire scenario that is happening. Of course, the res is going to be coming through. It's going to be on the flex, and it's going to be Johnny getting that res and being that mother over there, being taking care of his teammates as well. But now seems like Rated Sir is going to be completely taking a new position inside the circle as well.
Well, definitely, and Stalwart Esports, as we were talking about this final fight, they are being picked apart left and right. It's just Johnny and UZM left, and from the side of T2K, it's Jane and Raditzer. So a 2v2 situation. Raditzer quite close to his opponent, Stalwart Esports. The revives have come in, and they find themselves in a really comfortable position. With Jane going down, it's just a 1v4 situation, and STALWARTxFLEX, what is that? 19 kills secured by the team. Johnny with 6, Crypto 7, and then we have UCM and Reviews with 3 kills each. 19 kills and the chicken dinner. This team, wow, they destroyed the entire lobby.
Exactly, like just the overall execution, even in the last time, just the overall the play they showed, and just overall the way they challenged the fight was just so good. They took their time and they completely picked off the enemy team, which was T2K, one by one. They were finishing one by one them down. They first finished one of the players down from T2K was Sarge. Then they moved on a little bit front. Then they took out Rated Sir, and then certainly they just completely obliterated the entire squad of T2K. This is what we take, a well-executed plan coming in from these lads.
Yeah, and hey, we were talking about this. The big teams, they need the wake-up call. I think the last game was the wake-up call that the players of StalWartxFLEX needed.
Yeah.
And as you said, just picking up the fights, playing from the edge, I think it was the third circle onwards where they started playing the edge of the circle, and then just being the gatekeepers moving forward in the circles just worked out really nicely for them. On the contrary, P and crew, they were the first team to go towards Yasnaya Poliana. And if you are in the city of Yasnaya, if the circle keeps taking a southern shift, you are moving down to those open areas, it can be really tricky for them to actually exit those apartments in that city. And that is the reason why the team was not in a good position, even though you might think, oh, they went to the city first, they are going to have a lot of cover. But the tricky part of Yasnaya is, and in fact, this goes for all the urban areas, even with, not with Pochinki, since like you have multiple exits available, but with Yasnaya, since you just have to come south, that's the only way you can take your way out. That's the best way out of there. You're basically going to be spotted out as soon as you exit your cover. So that is one thing that was one challenge, one of the biggest challenges for the teams of P and crew. And then we just saw that absolute suicide moment from Ayush, where he just got up and ran in towards the circle.
Well, I mean, he did realize that, okay, it's just do or die, you know. I would rather take my chances now, or it's just I'm just going to be dying anyways while I'm going to be trying to make the rotation in. So he was like, okay, you know what? Flip everything. I'm just going to be going inside my buggy and just going to be making my way through. And certainly he did try to do that, but then T2K was just there with those frying pans out, and they were just waiting for that butter to be on it. And then he just got melted instantly.
Yeah, he was melted instantly. But with that, let's see actually how many points the teams actually secure for themselves. And we're going to be having a look at the rankings of this match, ladies and gentlemen. But we know StalWartxFLEX, 19 kills, and the chicken dinner, 34 points in one single game. Wow.
Oh my god. Like I'm just out of words right now. Like just the
Same.
overall performance, as I was saying, just the overall way these guys were executing their fights, and they just had one of the best positions going inside the game as well. They had the best compound secured for themselves, and all they were doing was just they were on the compound walls and they were just completely showering down those bullets on the incoming rotations, and that is how most of the kills were found for them as well. And certainly managed to secure that 19 kills for your team and 34 total points, and of course Crypto and Johnny having a beautiful big hand behind that as well. But now one of the teams that I really want to see over here, Blood Legion's going down early this time. One of the teams that actually just got caught off guard in the first position.
Yeah, and I don't think they anticipated that as well. And we were talking about it when the game started. I mean, the RNG of the game, as soon as you drop out of the plane, you never know what sort of weapons you're going to get. And just the fact that the opponents that they were trying to take the fight with actually managed to get some shotguns and were good on those shotguns as well. I mean, did not work out really well in the favor of the players of XB Blood Legions. And it was the team of Deadeyes, actually, the players of Deadeyes who actually took them out.
Yep.
But I mean, from there on out, the game was totally different. We did see a fight break out in the hospital area as well, and that was the players of God's Reborn actually getting a squad wipe over there. So that was also fun to watch. But I mean, as we did see the plane landing, that you and I, both of us expected a lot of fights to break out. One towards the southern side of the map, towards the Ferry Privia Primos situation. One towards the North Georgia Pole side.
Yeah.
But I mean, that did not really happen. We had two fights. One did happen towards hospital area. I'll give you that. But other than that, most of the teams just went fully passive.
Yeah, exactly. And another fight that happened between that was XP Blood Legions getting eliminated off from those nearby
Yeah.
school vicinities areas next to Razak. And that certainly is going to be unfortunate as we keep on talking. As you said, we did expect a lot of high intensive action early on. Just the overall circle shift came in. We did expect those early fights coming in as well. But certainly that wasn't happening anytime soon
Yeah.
because all these teams actually wanted to secure those late game situation position as well. And now moving on to those late game positions and moving on to the circle shift. Now, whenever I see those circles shift over to Yasna region, I always see that the circle is always shifting onto the open ground near the haystacks as well. And this is why we want to see like the circle is just wants to be as cruel as possible. It doesn't want to give you the maximum amount of cover you want. It's just going to be giving you the open fields to play, and it's going to be okay. That's your challenge now. Do whatever you can and just try to survive.
That's just the game, man. That's just the game. You're
Yeah.
never going to get the situation that you want. It's just going to be the worst possible scenario that you need to work with. But, I mean, some of the players actually do manage to do that, and those players find themselves in the list of our kill leaders, ladies and gentlemen. That is what we're going to see right now. And I mean, again,
Wow.
all right, so it's going to be Flex, STALWARTxFLEX, Crypto. Johnny is going to be there with 7 and 6 kills. These two individuals, oh, wow.
Exactly. It's just a wow coming out as well. Now, we did take a look at Crypto, man. This man is just so good at actually just the overall accuracy coming in from this man as well. Just the overall, he was spraying those guys down from those long range. And of course,
Yeah.
Johnny as well to back him up as the second fragger for their team. It's just such a well executed plan coming in from this team as well. And of course, we cannot be putting Deadeye guys as well on their backlines because they were also doing so good. And then T2K, of course, was one of the team that actually managed to secure that second position. And overall, T2K, of course, some of the mistakes coming in as well because they were getting picked one by one. They could have actually capitalized on the enemy teams and they could have tried to trade the situations out while the enemy team was exposing themselves to completely pick them one by one. This was their opening opportunity, but certainly somewhere down the line, we do know the pressure gets built up and we cannot be expecting much from these lads.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can only you can only hold off the pressure for a certain point. Once you reach your peak, you're gonna succumb to it. That's gonna be the thing. But what is the threshold gonna be? I think that is one thing that we're gonna find out for every single one of these teams during the scrims. I mean, in this matchup, we did see Stalwart Flex not succumb to the pressure. They did not fail. Instead, they rose up to the occasion. They took all the fights. They took all the kills to themselves. But on the other side of things, we did have teams that weren't able to do that. They tried their level best to take multiple fights at the same time from 4 different directions. But I mean, you put yourselves in a situation like that, and if you're not going to be able to distance yourself from your opponents like Stalwart did, you're actually going to be taken out. Because that is one thing that we need to point out as to how actually Stalwart got all those kills. You said it when you were talking about Crypto and Johnny as well. Just the fact that they were able to spray down their opponents from the distance and pick them off before they even reached them or before they even moved inside some cover was the reason why they actually have so many points in this game.
Exactly, and just the overall fight from Venom Legends coming out on the hilltop, that was just for so long. And I
Yeah.
really feel like that was one of the fight that actually made their fate happen, that actually wrote their destiny to just get completely wiped out when they actually made the rotation. Now, of course, if you're going to be in a fight, you are going to be giving those gun sounds as well, and that's just going to be giving your position away. So now, if you're going to be giving those gun sounds for such a long time, of course, all these teams are going to be having their sights locked onto your side as well. And this is exactly what Star Wars did. All the four players players were just completely aiming out at them. And of course, Venom Legends did try to get inside their buggies and cars, and they did try to get those rotation inside, but certainly they were just completely obliterated by the bullets coming in from hell.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I mean, this today has been sort of eye-opening for us as well, because we did see the new roster changes from the teams coming into effect. We did see the individual players, sort of how they were trying to synergize with the new teams, and some of the big names not living up to the expectations. But now we have 5 more days to go. As I said, 6 days total of the regular scrims, and then 2 days of final, 8 days in total, and all that. But these 5 days, I mean, before the finals, because you can't actually try anything new in the finals. Once you reach the
Yeah,
finals of
yeah.
any tournament, be it the scrims or be it a major tournament, you're gonna try and play your level best, because well, no one wants to lose over there. But over here right now, especially, I mean, the biggest name we're gonna talk about is gonna be Killer YT in the squad of PN Crew, and how the synergy, we did not see that in action today. But with the
Exactly.
2 games that the lineup did play today, I think they're going to have a lot of things to talk about once they are going to be sort of reviewing the matches after the day is done.
Exactly. Reviewing the matches, of course, as you pointed out, beautifully pointed out, of course, it's going to be one of the main factors going inside this as well. And as we do know, scrims are just to test the waters as well.
Yeah.
It's for you to actually use the strategy, utilize your brain, and just even overall just test new strategies. If they're not working out, then you can move on to another one. This is what exactly happens. But we need to also take a pause and know that these strategies are not the finalized strategies for these teams. Just the overall way these guys are playing, it's not going to be there. The curveball will be thrown in the finals as well, because they are going to be completely changing the way these guys play. Of course, the drop locations will be changing at the same time as well.
Yeah, definitely. And that's one thing that I would actually like to see. The change in drop locations. We did see that sort of today. I mean, some teams, just,
Yeah.
especially in the last matchup, the southern drops was something that we did not expect. But
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was more sort of the fact that the teams' rotation towards the teams that actually did want to go towards the military base were actually cut off, and they had to redirect themselves for the eastern rotation towards the Yasnaya side. So had that not happened, I mean, the teams would have definitely headed towards the military island, and then we would have again had a standard games with us. But that is one thing that he need to experiment with, because time and time again we have seen teams drop location when they go to the international tournaments. Their drop locations clash with some of the best teams in the world, and they just, first of all, the pressure is there. All right, these guys are big names. How do we compete with them? And you let that sort of mentality affect your gameplay. So the best way to avoid that is going to be to avoid the collision entirely. Have a second drop location ready. Use these scrims to practice and perfect your secondary drop location execution of the match.
Exactly. This is what I was saying, to test the waters, to test
Yeah.
how your team is going to be playing. And as you said, of course, PN Crew somewhere down the line, they are lacking a lot of synergy. They have so much to work on. But just overall, even if you're not really able to show up in the scrim, it doesn't mean you're not going to be able to do well in the finals. This is just a wake up call, as we can say. This is a wake up call for your team to actually get overall a real good practice in, and as well just to overall realize the depth of the situation, the depth of the confidence, competition you're putting yourself in. And you should also know what kind of competition you're putting yourself in. If you're just going to be walking in straight with your face in, then of course you're going to be falling down on your face somewhere down the line as well. This is why the scrims are there, to actually let you know that what kind of competition will be happening in those future stages. And certainly I really feel like this is not to the depth these teams are playing for their
Yeah.
best as well. They're not playing for their best. I really feel like they do realize that, okay, these are just scrims. So I feel like some of the teams are just kind of like YOLO going in the inside this as well. But the real competition, that is where we will be seeing the peak of the performance. That is where we will see the best of the best just completely rising in and shocking us with their beautiful performance.
But hey, I mean, we do see some YOLO moments coming in, but I'm not
Yeah,
seeing that fully YOLO lobby entirely that we do see
yeah, yeah,
in the final games of the tournament. I would love to see that happen once.
yeah, yeah,
And I'm pretty sure that's going to be the final day, final game of the final day, where we're going to see everyone go completely YOLO.
yeah.
But I mean, before that, as you said, I mean, not playing to your 100% can actually be detrimental to the performance as well. Because while you might not be doing that, someone else is doing that, and someone else is
Yeah.
improving along the lines. They, once they reach your level, they are just gonna surpass you over there. So I think today, just being the first day of these scrims, this is going to be basically a bye day for everyone else, where everyone else is just going to go back, do their homework. Everyone else is going to be, especially the teams that actually did perform, their performances are going to be studied. This match of Stalwart Esports, teams are going to watch the demos again and again and prepare for
Yeah.
Stalwarts tomorrow. Teams are going to be prepared for F4. Teams are going to be prepared
Yeah.
for Futurestation. And considering the fact that these lineups have been together for a really long time, they're going to watch their previous demos as well, just in case. But same can't be said for the teams that are coming with roster changes. Same can't be said for the teams with PN crew, because you don't know what to expect. They did not perform really well today. You don't know what they're going to do tomorrow, and that, I think, is one thing that can sort of work out in the favor of PN crew as well. Because while you are collecting all this information on everyone else and not giving away too much, but at a certain point, I think you need to show up and show what you're made
Yeah.
of. Because before you actually go forward into the next major tournament that you're going to be a part of, it is about making a statement, and it's about proving to the fans and to everyone else and to the opposing teams that are going to be watching you that yes, they can't take you lightly. You have what it takes to be there, and you are there to win it. And I think this is going to be the perfect stage to do that as well.
Indeed, this is going to be the perfect stage to actually show what you're made of, as well, as you pointed out. But now, also, some of the teams that are one of the big names as well, Ineos for now, okay? Take a look at them. They're not really able to show up. Of course, one of the teams that we do have so many expectations going in as well, and it doesn't really seem like they have came in through with any of those roster changes as well. But certainly, somewhere down the line, they are still struggling as well. And I really feel like, okay, we just need to give them a little bit of breathing space, you know. They just now have put their foot inside. Now they should also know what exactly is going on. They will be calculating all the circumference and just the overall depth, what is going on in there as well. And once they are pretty much comfortable with the breathing space they are allotted with, then I'm pretty sure they might be coming out on top as well. Anything can happen. All these teams do have it in them.
Yeah, everyone has it in them, and well, we still have 5 more days to go to actually find out how these teams are going to perform. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, we are done with our show today. The overall standings after day number 1, they're going to be updated on our socials, so make sure you're subscribed to our Instagrams, our Twitters, and you can check out the overall standings over there. But for now, we're going to call it a night. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to see you guys tomorrow. Until then, take care. Good night.
Let's get it.